I'm usually like that, but recently, just because I've been busy, I've had more patience, and we're live.
We are live.
And this time, I set the phone line up, or I put the phone line on before we went live, so everything's up and running. I'm sure I'm forgetting something.
W. Jeff.
I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but I don't know what. Um,
I really wanted to make fun of Santana for not listening. I'm like, wow, what a man, not listening even to another man.
um, yeah, that whole conversation was wild. Um,
I was entertained. I got a lot done while doing it.
I I just don't like. I don't know what people think they're accomplishing when they do that. Like they're clearly not.
Confirmation bias.
But that's the thing. They're not convincing anybody in the crowd that doesn't already agree with them. They
Well, they're convincing themselves.
But I don't even think that's true because, like, say for that guy
I
who said,
do.
"Oh, I'm clipping this," he's going to have to clip it out of context. I'll raise my volume. Do I sound better now? Um,
Oh, do
but
I sound okay?
you sound loud to me.
Um, I sound loud to you.
Yeah. Everybody in the chat, just let me know if everything sounds dope. But like clipping something out of context is a volitional act. Like you're doing that. Like that's something. So you have to know while you're doing it. Like, hey, for example, think about how many times I asked that person to give me a scriptural reference for this phrase being used to describe service. And the reason I'm asking is because, you I think we talked yesterday about how Christians interpret scripture and they just add stuff,
Mm-hmm.
right? The idea of washing feet being service comes from homilies. It's just a priest's innovation. Like they just add it to it. Now, it's possible that they could be right, but the scripture doesn't say that. You know what I mean? So let me test this. Boom. But so when I'm having a debate, if I'm skeptical about that that's what the scripture means, on my side I have like 10, 15, 20 clean references to where the inference can be drawn that this phrase means this thing. And he has to go outside the Bible to read an apologetic that says,
That
you,
was
you see
funny.
you see what I'm saying? Like, and you
No,
can
I
tell
enjoyed
that,
that.
yeah, and you can tell the difference between when somebody's like reasoning through it and when they're just all of a sudden their speech goes to where they're saying the whole sentence in a string and it's none of the vocabulary they were using before, so clearly they're reading it. That part is hilarious to me. But everybody, welcome. We're live now. If the stream is laggy for anyone, let me know. I checked a lot of stuff beforehand, and I don't think we'll be having like any connection issues. So there's that. And so we have the same three top. Like actually, Kenzie, let me know if these topics are still good. I know you were looking through them, and I just want to make sure if you don't want to change anything.
No, I like them.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So we're rolling with these. They're scrolling through. If you disagree with any of the topics, obviously call in. It's been a wild week. If you don't already know, and you look in the chat, I released my book yesterday. It was a complete fluke. I will tell everybody here.
You didn't even tell me you were writing a book.
I thought I did.
No.
This one didn't take me a super long time. I mean, compared to other projects that I haven't even finished, that I'm not even halfway through, that I started like a decade ago, this one took me like maybe a year and a half, right? But what happened was I finished it a couple of months ago and I sent it to a couple of people to review it, people that I know are like either really well versed in the Bible and have expertise in something else that's tangential, or people who are in fact textual critics. And then I just like held it and I was like, when should I put this out? And there's this thing about I don't know, like, I know you're not often on Santana's panel, but like Santana, like, he'll joke around and be like, hey, you gotta, we're grifting, but he's serious about that shit. Like, if I get on his panel and at the end he goes, do you have any pluggables? And I don't, he'll say, hey man, I gotta teach y'all how to grift. And so the other day, yesterday, when he said, do you have any pluggables? Sean said, I don't have anything. And I'm like, feeling like, I don't want to get yelled at. I was like, I've already plugged the YouTube. I've already done. What do I have? And so I just said, you know what? Let me drop the book. I was considering dropping it this week anyway. I was going to do it on Friday, and then I just dropped it. So it was a complete fluke, and I blame Santana.
I love that peer pressure got you to drop the book.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I would never have guessed peer pressure as a motivator for you.
But it's for specific people, right? Like, obviously there's a group of us that do this, and there's an inner circle of people that are the people that, like, obviously you find their opinion important. Mm-hmm. And so that peer pressure I can see being a thing. When it comes to, let me play this, make sure it's not too loud.
My birthday is coming up, so if you're thinking of getting a gift for your niece, I would love to read your book. Not that, I can't afford a $10 book.
Well, so two things. Number one, I do have to talk to y'all about, like, getting you solid, Sean, like, everybody a copy. But also, this is for the crowd, when I get to 200 copies, Ari's book club is getting 20 free copies of the book.
Yes, WRE's book club.
Yeah, so that's gonna happen. Yeah, dope, fresh,
fresh
I'm
and
hoping,
fit.
Fresh and fit is crazy. I'm hoping we get some good calls today. I'm hoping we get some.
That would
people,
be amazing.
Yeah, who are and today, just so you know, I'm ramping it up a little bit as far as, like, the tolerance for not an argument.
I feel like you're expecting way too much.
I am, but this is, I don't know. I should probably say this before Sean gets here, even though the DVR.
Sean's going to be here?
Well, I'm sure she's going to be in the chat, and if she wants to get over here,
she is the best type woman. Facts.
But you gotta. No, I'm not gonna say the crude version. You gotta train people, right? Like, you gotta start off. Okay, yeah, come up and have a conversation, and if you don't know nothing, that's cool. We'll walk you through it, and then you go, hey, I'm really gonna need you to make an argument.
I feel like you're underwater.
The audio?
Yeah.
Can y'all hear me?
I just had some orange juice or some apple juice, but I don't think it's that.
Let's see.
I'm really trying to figure out how to reply on YouTube.
No, it's not that.
Yeah, someone asked what day my birthday is. It is August 6th, and it'll be my 40th birthday, so we're doing a birthday stream August 2nd.
W Solid Raid, by the way.
W Solid Raid. You know, you get the air horn.
Mm-hmm. I gotta keep the battle rap air horn going. All right, so the chat can hear me. I'm hoping it'll even out. It's probably just how the audio's hitting over.
It sounds better now.
Okay, yeah, it's Video Ninja's sometimes a little wonky. As everybody's piling in, this week I went on a lot more lives than I normally do. I've just been trying to see, like, what the op situation is like on TikTok, and it's not great. It's not great.
No, it's It's really interesting to be a part of, like kind of like a niche social media, or like a niche social media faction, and watch like how the landscape changes. When Roe v. Wade got overturned, I went live, I think the next day, and I had like 4,000 viewers.
Holy crap.
And yeah, like some crazy numbers. And I can't even like conceptualize another event like that happening where that many people like tune in. So I really do think there is a rise in popularity of political social media content. And because of that, it's becoming very saturated. And I will say, like, kind of how you were talking about our peers, I think the cream is rising to the top. There are people who kind of plateau or just stay where they're at, and there are people who continue to grow.
Yeah. Um, that's the first thing I thought when you said it's getting saturated, because one of the other things that happens is that there are certain topics we talk about, and some people will hear those topics on either side of it, and they'll say, "Hey, I want to do this." Some of the people that say I want to do this will do the work and start reading, and like I've gotten messages on Discord from people who are like, "Hey, I'm trying to work on this. How do I blah blah blah?" I'm sure you have too. And then there are other people who just turn on, just hit go live, put a thing on their background, and they are like, "Hey, I'm just gonna jump in the deep end." I'm not sure how I feel about that. Like, I know everybody has different ways to learn, but how do you feel about something like that? About like just somebody?
I mean, there are things that are just going to be inevitable. Like Sean and I were actually talking about this, and she knows someone who wants to go live, and they're unsure if they meet a certain knowledge standard, and a certain like skill based standard in order to do so. And I totally understand that. I think the reason that I've done well is because I do have a background in sales, and so sales teaches you how to communicate. So there is a foundation there to work off of. But, even my views, like I've said this so many times, when I started on TikTok, I was very much a white liberal woman. And now I've been completely radicalized, even in my abortion stance. It's very different than it was when I started at day one. So there are going to be changes that you make as you learn more. And I do think like you are going to get your ass kicked eventually, if you are in the right rooms and you do have people who are challenging you. So these are just things that you have to accept. The question is if certain people have the insight to recognize that and understand their knowledge gaps, and then really, do the work to close those gaps. So I would never discourage someone, because we all have to start somewhere, but you really do have to have the insight to know what skills you have, what skills you don't have, where your knowledge gaps are, stuff like it's it's a very complex thing. I don't know if I can explain it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the thing I'm wondering is there like a baseline for like where I can say, hey, this person is ready?
You and I have talked about this. Like you've given me really great compliments about my humor. And that's like one of the best compliments for me I can get. I would rather be called ugly than called not funny. Because funny has always been like, it's witty, it's timing, it's knowledge based, it's cultural reference based. Like there's so many things you're working with. And to put that all together into the perfect joke, like, ugh, what a skill to have. So I do think there are things. I think you need to have certain skills that not only appeal to the audience so that they're engaged, but also that are authentic, because people can't fake funny. And so I'm sure you disagree with that, but
no, I don't.
It is a weird balance. Like, what is authentic to you that you actually do have a good skill in, and how do you center that skill in a way that, people not only resonate with, but that it's also entertaining and it also achieves the goal of what you're wanting to. Because I do think like education has always been really important to me. Making it entertaining to a degree where it's not like, rage bait. There's so many things you have to consider. I feel like I'm rambling. So it's hard to say because everyone is so different. I remember the first time I met you, and you were so direct and clear, which is how I communicate as well. And so it's something that I pick up on that is unique to me that I like. And I'm like, this guy has something special because he is communicating in a way that is very unlike a lot of people.
I just think like being clear is the best way to not get conned. Like that's the biggest thing. I'm gonna take a pause real quick and say that Ari, I see you here. I wish you were there when we were on Santana's, but when we get to 200 copies of the book, your book club is getting 20 free copies donated. So just hang tight. As soon as we get to that, if you guys want to see where it is again.
Ari Santana was taking credit for your book club.
Oh yeah, it's yours and Santana's book club now. But yeah, Ari, when we hit that goal, you guys are getting 20 free copies donated. Dope. That's not counting the one that you're getting, so that's on point. Anyway, if you disagree with any of these topics, call in 240-896-3627. I'm gonna say this a few times throughout I'm just gonna keep reminding people that if you try to debate us from the chat, every week I'm gonna lower the amount of attention I give to ops in the chat. Like the first week I was browbeating people to call in. At some point I'm just not going to like even pay attention. Like when you say goofy stuff, you're gonna be at the mercy of the mods who are like every god you've ever heard of combined. They have the full rights to do whatever the hell they want. So yeah.
Debating from the chat makes you a beta male.
Yeah.
Beta.
Yeah.
You're super beta if you debate from the chat.
Super beta. W. Sean, did you get my Cash App?
Sean, did you get Kenzie's Cash App? All right.
What is the difference between pro-choice and pro-abortion? So I don't think abortion necessarily needs to always be centered around choice because there are people who need access to abortion who don't want them. Obviously, because it's a very wanted pregnancy and there are complications. So I think we should destigmatize the term and just recognize it as healthcare, that even if it's something that you didn't desire as an outcome of pregnancy, it is necessary in order for you to receive accurate treatment. So the main purpose is for destigmatization and really centering it around this is a type of treatment when it comes to pregnancy. I think a lot of women, even who are pro-choice, feel ashamed of getting an abortion because it has such a negative connotation. And so I think we need to neutralize it. No one has negative moral attainments from getting a heart surgery or getting a root canal or anything like that. So I really want to make it on par with that.
Yeah, I think for removing stigmas is important. Actually, we'll talk about that a little more later. There's a story about something that happened this morning that flipped me the hell out. Like,
really?
The only reason that I didn't like crash out on the live is because the person who was the host had just gotten a restriction yesterday because a couple of us crashed out on somebody, and I felt bad, and I didn't want their, TikTok been TikToking. They've been taking accounts left and right, so I didn't want to be responsible for that. But yeah, there was an incident this morning that really pissed me off. It really struck me the wrong way.
Wow. A fun fact that all of you don't know about Jeff is he is a gossip girl through and through. One of my favorite people to gossip with is Jeff. And the other day I told him I had some tea, and the audible in his reactions, like, oh, I wish you all could see it. Just like, like literally one of the best people to gossip with.
I am a stage person through and through. Yeah, look, I'm with you guys. I want to call her too. So like, if again, I do not believe that everybody here agrees with all three of these rotating topics. I'll set them up. Feminism is good. We are pro-abortion, and also God does not exist. When you call in, right, you'll have a conversation with the screeners. We'll get your name. We'll get some quick information so that we know who we're talking to, right? And then we'll get you on air, and you'll be rendering an argument. That's the name of the show, Render an Argument. So,
someone asked if they can just call through their phone or if they need a special app. I think they can just dial the number, right?
Yeah, if you grab your phone and dial the number like a old person. Like,
yep.
If you have a rotary phone, that's even better. 240-896-3627. You call in and you'll go right through. Every now and again, what'll happen is if we get people by special request, sometimes I'll set up a link that you can use. But let's see if that works. There we go. So you go ahead and I drop the number right into chat. Go ahead and hit that up and we'll get you on the air. Like right now we don't have any callers, so you'll go right through. And I'm looking forward to that. So actually, you know what? I'll tell you now. So when I woke up this morning, I was watching just a few lives, and then I saw my friend Heathen Deacon was live, and he was talking to somebody and trying to get information about like the person on the panel was saying that being transgender is a feeling, and that's it. And he kept saying that he was an MD, as in like he just graduated med school last year. And he also made the assertion that he had finished his residency. And in my head, I'm like, that's literally impossible. I've watched way too much Grey's Anatomy. I've watched every episode of House to know that there's no way that you graduated med school last year. And yeah, the doctor. And now you completed your residency before this year. Impossible. And a couple of my friends that have medical degrees or PhDs and different things were on the panel. And I'm like, nah, I don't want to waste their time. He's got to get owned by a lay person. And what followed was just a constant request for data, for literature, for something that a doctor would use, and a constant confusion on basic terms. Like he said, for example, do you want me to bring you literature on the transgender condition? And I'm like, no doctor would say that. Like, that's not a thing. It's like when you go over like abortion terms and somebody's using a term that's not a medical term. Like, if you say, hey, I'm a medical doctor, and you use one of these like layperson political terms, that's a flag, right? But then, and this is the funny part, I wasn't going to say this on live. I was going to tell this to people on the phone. Then he said that he was also a linguist. And there's a deep cut. And I was like, Patrick, did you change your voice? Like multiple degrees? Linguist? He said
Patrick, did you change your voice? Oh my God.
I was like, how did you spawn multiple degrees in this conversation? Yeah, he was a linguist that didn't know what a semantic range was. So clearly, summa cum laude in linguistics.
Maybe he had a minor. I'm gonna get my doctorate in medicine and then my minor in, in linguistics, because those are correlated.
Good one, McTime. I like that. I'm gonna get a doctorate in some weird shit. You can call me Doctor Strange. I don't know that we stand them, but we do like dad jokes here, so I'm all about it.
I love that. What has it been? Has it been 2 years since Joan's been on?
Probably a year and a half, a year and change.
Year and a half, and still the Jones inside jokes continue.
They're never gonna stop.
I know, I love it. I'm here for it.
They're never gonna get old. The phenomenon that was just way too good, and the punchlines are just way too like delicious to not make those jokes. I'm gonna be 80 years old, and like I might be on my deathbed talking about community. Just plant me in the community garden. And I think most of the people around me will know what I meant.
No, Sean, he's right, because all the Jones stuff happened, and then the Irish thing happened with me, and that was about a year ago. So yeah, it's been like 15, 16 months.
Yep. But yeah, like, I don't know. I mean, I'm seeing the people coming in is rising, but callers calling is not rising. And I'm expecting that to happen. It's very strange.
I mean, I don't...
Strange. Like, to be honest, here's the thing. This is actually a benchmark test for ops, because on so many lives, especially ones where there's like a full panel, a lot of ops will complain that they get muted, that they get blocked, that they get dropped. And here, you get a chance to say your whole thing, your whole entire argument, and just put it in front of people. And if it's good, if this is the chance to say the thing that before you were like, hey, these people are being disingenuous, now you can debunk a bunch of leftists and soy boys and feminists and all of that, atheists. Just give the argument, right? That's why the show is called Render an Argument. It's not one of these things where I'm going to call you a horrible person. We've had, like last week, we had a bona fide, over the top, like just a racist guy. Like he was just racist. This was me and Adorno. We let him say his whole, we showed him where he was wrong. But we weren't like, oh, it's, if your argument's good, it's good. If it's not, it's not. So if you are pro-life and you want to give us your best argument for being pro-life, there's the topic right there, 240-896-3627. If you have an issue with feminism, including anybody who said some goofy feminist stuff in the anti-feminist stuff in the chat, go on. If you have an argument or evidence for God's existence, 240-896-3627. Call on in. Yeah. And we'll do that. Meanwhile, for the rest of y'all,
I feel like YouTube is more conservative. Like that's where more conservative people are.
Okay. I mean, yeah, hey, if you're conservative, and at some point I might even, who knows, I might even just add a topic that draws conservatives like moths to a flame. But for the
I
rest
feel
of
all of these should. I mean, there are Bible thumping, anti-abortion, anti-feminist people. Like,
are y'all scared of a woman? Is that it?
Or a black man?
Well, they are.
Do you regret your vote yet?
Yeah. You know what? Sean, keep playing around. I'll put that up there. I'll be like, hey, why didn't you vote? I will put the topic, The topic will just say Kamala would never.
Kamala would never.
Matter of fact, nah, you know what? Just for that. Keep messing around. When you, the next time you guest host, Sean, that's going to be the topic. One of the topics is, I'm just going to add it by surprise halfway through, and it's going to be like, Kamala would never. And when somebody calls in and be like, Trump 2028, I'm going to be like, hey, talk to my sister about that. She going to convince you that you should have, and she going to crash out when you mispronounce it. Just, and then I'll have you argue with them about like they should have voted for Kamala.
Yeah, vote harder.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Trump turned me trans.
Oh, you didn't hear about that?
No.
I'm gonna let Sean tell it. Actually, Sean, if you want, call in so you could tell it. But she told me the thing, and I actually posted that on my Blue Sky. I was like, I just found out that Donald Trump turned my friend trans. That what?
I'm really interested in the insight.
I didn't watch it, but when she told me that story, I lost it. Completely lost it.
Why is feminism good? If you want to call in, we can talk about it. We got a call. This is a phone. And believe it or not, your phone can do more than text. And it can do more than post on Twitter. It has a keypad. This is where you dial numbers and you hit the green button.
I'm wondering how they're doing that.
Who's they?
I don't know if there's an issue with, because Solid was having this issue before with the caller ID, but the calls are coming up as it just says a word as opposed to the number.
I kind of feel like Miss Kenzie insulted me, but I'm cool. I like to conserve my toilet paper. I mean, whatever you all want to identify as. If you don't want to be called like tradcons or conservatives, just let me, if like fascist is your preferred term, just let me know.
Yeah, like, I just assume that any movement for liberation is good unless there's a reason to the contrary. So if you have a reason to the contrary, we can discuss it. But the best way to discuss it is to call the number 240-896-3627. Simple, easy, straightforward.
So the audio for me keeps, like, the more and more it keeps sounding like you're underwater. I don't know if that'll be for the caller. I'm a little worried about it, so I don't know what I should do.
You know what? Let me see. I wonder if it's being caused by the music. Did that help?
I'm not sure because it goes in and out where there are moments where it's like you're underwater for me, and then there are moments of big clarity.
Does the music also sound underwater? Because it's all in the same.
I don't hear music.
Oh. That's interesting. Well, let's figure that out, shall we? How about now?
That does sound better. You do sound more clear, but again, like, it keeps kind of going in and out. I'm catching a lot of what you're saying, but it is a struggle.
Okay. Let's see if and when we get our first caller. Oh, we got 2 screeners.
Call the number. You think you can handle a civil war, but you can't call in?
Yo, I can't believe you said that. Yo, me personally, I wouldn't take that. Let's see. I'll pull a screener up. Let's see. Right here. Which screener did I pull up? I don't know.
This is Sean. You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
This is Sean.
Okay. This is
Dope.
Sean.
Actually,
hi, Kinsey.
Hi, Sean.
does Sean sound good?
Kinsey's my bestie, by the way.
Yeah, Sean sounds great. And
Okay.
and you aren't underwater anymore for right now.
Okay.
Oh, W not being underwater. So Trump, it was on Santana's Live. We're talking about how Trump turned me into a trans. It was on Santana's Live, and Santana was talking to this guest, and somehow they got to the issue of Trump and how Trump spent
Somehow.
250. Yeah, somehow, and how Trump spent $250 million on anti-trans ads, and so I was like, well, I wasn't trans before Trump spent $250 million on anti-trans ads. So, deducing what happened in my life, because I saw some of those ads, and I was like, huh. Because sometimes when I saw those ads, I was like, huh, this feels a little personal. Feels like he's talking to me here. He doesn't want trans women in women's restrooms. That feels a little bit like a personal jab. And then I realized Trump turned me trans. If he didn't spend all that money on all those ads to offend me, I wouldn't be trans. So I don't know. W
I mean, is that
Trump?
I was just
A
gonna
little
say,
bit,
is that
yeah.
Trump's first W? Like,
Is that Trump's? Like, if they fell backwards into a W? Hey, listen. All I'm saying is, you can say Trump W if you want to, or not if you don't want to. All I'm letting you know is that facts are the facts, and the facts don't care about your feelings. Trump turned me into a trans. That's what happened.
All I know is Kamala would never.
I remember when Jovan told me that you were a trans woman, and I'm like, "Are you sure? Like, I've been calling her he forever. Like, have I missed something?" She's never corrected me once either. Like,
Yeah.
replace religion with ism? I don't understand. Mac Time, you seem really upset.
No, well, I don't know. McTime, I think, is on the fence.
I don't care what you call me. I'm not a label. I'm not saying you are a label. That's silly. And I'm not a religion. No one brought up religion. I'm whatever you say I am.
That's
If I
an Eminem
wasn't,
song.
I really wouldn't give a damn. What? That doesn't even make any
That's-
sense.
Now that's an interpolation of an Eminem song.
I am whatever you say I am. And if I wasn't, then why would I say I am? All right, you can drop me back down. Thank you for having me up.
You got it,
For
man.
sure. I was really excited for that story.
You want to go
I'm
back
glad
to the
the
screening room?
anti-trans propaganda brought you to the light.
That's what it was. It pulled me right over there. And I was like, yep, I'm trans now. Thanks, Trump. That's the new thanks, Obama.
Oh my God, he is quoting Slim Shady. I didn't even catch that. As a millennial, that's embarrassing.
Crazy. Well, thanks for
I think
coming.
what McTime is... Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jeff. All right, drop me now.
Oh, no.
Oh, thank you.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say, I just think replace religion with ism, where it's like, I think it's like Christianism, like the system of Christianity. I don't know for sure.
Islamism. Well, Judaism.
Islamism sounds...
So would it be
sounds
Judaism?
like, it is Judaism, isn't it?
Yeah, so that would be Judaism-ism.
Judaism-ism. No, McTime, I think McTime is all right. I've seen McTime in my comments before.
Yeah, chilling. I think they on the fence on some stuff, but yeah, we'll let them do their own evolution. But I don't know, Sean. Talk more shit in the chat so somebody calls in.
I will do that. I will be doing that.
All right.
Love y'all.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
We do need to have a Trinity
Bye.
stream. That would be fun.
Yeah, I've been working on the different layouts. I'm not even gonna switch to the other one. It's a mess, but like I have it set up to potentially have 3. I don't know, but yeah. One more time, again, I feel like it bears repeating. We are not gonna debate you in the chat. What I need y'all to do is, if you disagree with any of the topics that are right there in the center, call 240-896-3627, and we will entertain your argument. If you're not calling in, and this is just kind of how, like, you said sales background. I know people. I've been in sales a long time too. And I just know if you're chatting, right, and you're not calling, people are just going to assume you ain't got no argument. You know?
It's easier to be a heckler than a performer.
Yep. They're gonna assume you ain't got no argument and that you're just like, scared.
I do have to pee though. I'll be right back.
All right. But yeah, I think another thing that's happening, and this is something that I'm not sure if I've taken a full stance on this, but there's some infighting that's happening. I think, you know what? I think the reason I haven't taken a stance on it is because I haven't really parsed out the different intersections of the infighting, right? Like I haven't organized it into pieces. So what I will say just generally, broadly, is that everybody that does this, whether we do it here, whether we do it on TikTok, everybody has some sort of like mission. We have a vision for what we want to do, right? And I think infighting and purity tests for ideological purity tests miss the mission. I'll probably have more as I put this together. Listen, weirdo goofball in the chat. I know when you see me, right? When you see me, specifically me, you picture your head right in my chest, like nuzzled, nice and comfortably. But I'm already married. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, I'm taken. So that probably won't happen for you. What I will say is, you seem to disagree with some of the topics, and you seem to have some big feelings about that. And you can, set us straight by going ahead and calling in. Brody said that I'm going to have a massive heart attack at 25.
Ooh.
At 25
Birthday's coming
years
up.
of age. That means I am a zombie. That means that I'm one of the Walking Dead. I've been dead for 20 years, as it turns out.
I do appreciate that Jeff is. I mean, we're both on the cusp of our generations, but at least he gets my references, my cultural references. A lot of these Gen Zers just right over their head. I'm like, fuck my life.
Yeah. And the sociological references, like, for example, somebody said I'm 46. I am 46. But in black years, I'm 192. So I think
Did you say in black years?
Yeah.
How do you? What's the equation?
I don't know. Should have been dead a long time ago is the equation. But we made it. We made it, and I guess your predictive analysis, goofball, failed. You made a prediction, and in real time, like it failed immediately. I think you should recapitulate your hypothesis, just re-examine those views, and see where you went wrong. I don't know, like go back to the drawing board, get the whiteboard out, put the dry erase up there, and I don't know, figure it out. Oh, I thought you were gonna say something.
Irish, okay, you're independent moderate, great. You're 43 and have autism. We're willing to make any adjustments necessary in order for you to have a discussion.
Like I could make a list of, you know what? Just call in. As long as you are an honest person, right? We don't bite. The only time I bite is like when I have to match energy with people who are dishonest. I don't like dishonesty. But depending on which topic, you might not even get to talk to me. You might be talking to, you know.
Mike, you should request in too. I would make an exception and actually, if you want to debate like fat phobia and obesity, I'd be willing to do that as well.
So sad. Brody is super sad, and now he got murked. Look,
Oh, you muted him?
I didn't, but the mods don't play. Look, even when I was hosting on TikTok, I used to say this all the time. My mods are equipped with howitzers, and I just let them fly. Like, hey, whatever. When you see it, if you don't like it, nuke it. I don't care. It is what it is. For whoever's talking, oh, it is Christian. Like, look, Isaiah 54:17 says, no weapon forged. So if you have evidence or an argument that God exists, and all you are is salty, that you think that by committing genocide and relegating women and black people to second-class citizens with your religion, you're making the world a better place. Hey, the excuse could be, well, God is real, right? So just call in and prove God is real. You know, that's something that, like, I don't want to use the term low tier, because I don't think it's like a low tier thing. I don't even believe in that for real. I think there are uneducated arguments, and then there's educated people making arguments. But when people say, like, well, look, atheism did this and unalived all these people, or Christianity did this and freed this or that, that's just an appeal to consequence. That's like saying, well, if you believe, right? If you believe that trees, or if you don't think that trees have feelings, then they won't be able to communicate with me. Like, well, yeah, that's great. Dope. Who cares? I just care if it's true. I just want to know if it's a true
Jeff,
thing.
you know, I had my experimental days when I was younger, but I never smoked mushrooms. Is that a thing? I always ate them.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
How do you do that?
Let's see. Who said smoke mushroom? Like, what's the context of smoking
Nina.
mushrooms?
Native Americans cash Canadian checks and smoke their mushrooms there instead.
Y'all are weird. If there's a best theism debater, they could call in. That's fine.
Nina said they were going to go get them.
Yeah, what are we doing? MOA?
That's
What
exciting.
I really want to believe in God. Like I want to get the best argument. But here's the other thing, and this is how people like give away their position. I suspect that by best you mean somebody who, in some way, is just looking for some cheap W, right?
I
And
hope it's Jay
so,
Dyer.
oh, that would be cool. Have them call in.
Or Cliff, what's his name?
All right, all right. So while we're waiting to see if
Kaneshal?
this shouldn't be this might be interesting, but I'm with it. So we're gonna bring up our first caller for the day,
Ooh, how exciting.
and I'm not 100% sure. They didn't pick a topic, so we're gonna work with that, and we may need to do a bit of an English lesson. It's possible. I hope not, but it's possible, right? So coming up to render an argument is Irish from the chat. Irish is 43 and is joining us to have an open, honest dialogue. So Irish, when you hear my voice, you should be on the air now. Can you tell us your pronouns?
I go by he and him.
Awesome. Love it. If you like it, I love it. All right. And so we've got 3 topics here, but I know that I know my co-host made an offer to somebody else to be a little lax. What do you want to talk about?
Well, since you're the host, you feel free to lead the conversation.
Well, typically what I do is have you pick one of the topics, but you seem
Okay.
kind of hesitant to pick one with the screen.
No, I'm just open to whatever you want to talk about based on the topics. But since you asked me, I guess I'll pick feminism.
Okay, cool. So you'll be talking to my co-host Kenzie, and why don't we start off with what your contention is with feminism?
It's not so much that. I guess I'm just looking for clarity because I've known people, and who like say they're feminists, and from my experience, like it could mean different things to different people, and so I guess that's kind of why I'm calling.
I'm sorry, you said you know people who are feminist and what?
That based on my experience with them, there's like they have different ways of like understanding what that means in practice.
Oh, yeah, I would just say feminism is a movement for the liberation of women from sexism.
Okay. Is that because like women don't have equal rights?
No, I don't base my feminism just in like rights within a capitalist society.
I'm sorry?
No, I don't base the movement of feminism as obtaining rights under a capitalist society.
So feminism for you is like almost anti-capitalism, right?
Yes, I think feminism has to be anti-capitalism because women are not only oppressed by capitalism, but if we look at intersectionality, women, especially in the global south, are exploited to an extreme degree because of capitalism.
Could you give me some examples?
Examples of the global south being exploited?
Yes.
Yeah, like if we look at the continent of Africa, Africa has been underdeveloped by the global north so that they can extract resources. and then have the means of production to manufacture those resources and then sell them for higher costs. So, obviously, when we look at Africa, the underdevelopment of that continent has not only created war, has created conditions to where they're not paid for labor, to create destabilization of economies, which when that happens, women are subjected to sexual violence, to physical violence.
Okay. And is feminism different from like when women wanted to vote in the old days, or is that like the same movement or a different movement?
Well, the definition I gave you is a broad term. So I think there are sects within feminism that recognize inequality in different ways. So I would say the right to vote was a form of liberal feminism, where I'm a Marxist feminist. I don't think voting changes um, our oppression or material conditions in a meaningful way.
Okay, so you talk about the exploitation of like work.
I mean, that is one criteria. Yeah.
Okay, is that only the oppression of women, or all humans are experiencing that in poorer countries and poorer continents?
So obviously, anyone who's a member of the proletariat is experiencing exploitation through labor. I'm saying there are unique ways that women are exploited. Like if we look at domestic labor, women hold the majority of people who perform domestic labor, and this is typically an unpaid position or low paid. So that is a
Like,
position within the proletariat that's unique to women.
like factory working, or you mean like other jobs?
I mean, domestic labor, like raising children.
Oh, so you're saying people should get paid for being a mother?
I'm saying that they're doing labor without compensation. I'm anti capitalist, so I think that even if we reform capitalism to have like social safety nets to people receive income, that there will still be exploitation from that. But yeah, as we can see within the current system, that is an unpaid position, which capitalism
Uh,
depends on.
it's okay. I'm just trying to understand. You're saying that mothers should have financial compensation for being mothers.
Yep. If we're going to be under a capitalist system, but I want to abolish capitalism.
Okay. Why should someone get paid for doing that?
Do you think that in order for capitalism to survive, that there needs to be the replacement of workers?
I don't think that motherhood can be considered the same as being a nurse or a lawyer.
That doesn't answer my question.
Okay, maybe you can try to rephrase it because I don't comprehend.
Do you think under a system of capitalism that workers need to be replaced?
Replaced in what sense? Like AI?
No, like
No.
replenish, like workers die and you need new workers.
I'm not. I can honestly say I'm not familiar with the current issue that you're addressing, because I'm
So
sort of
so
like
you work under capitalism, right?
um I am an American citizen,
Right. And
so
you work
yeah,
in a capitalist system. Are you going to die one day?
yes.
Okay. So when we have workers that die, how do we replenish those workers?
Well, I mean, like when people die, you just hire someone else, right?
Right. And then those workers are going to die. So how do you
Right.
replenish workers?
Well, that's just like the way of life. People live and die.
Right. And I'm asking you, how do you replenish workers? People have children, right?
Yeah,
And
but
then
it isn't
children
like
grow up and they enter the capitalist system, right?
right. But motherhood is a free will act. It isn't like anyone's forcing people to be moms.
I mean, that can be debated, but what I'm saying is that women having children is a necessity to capitalism, right?
It's a necessity to any society.
Great. So if it's a necessity, this would be essential labor. I don't know why we wouldn't pay someone for essential labor.
Because motherhood's a responsibility.
So is going to work.
Yes, but you could also like live off the land. You don't have to work. But to to choose motherhood is not the same as choosing your
You
job.
want people to choose motherhood, don't you?
If that's what they want in life.
Right, but as someone who is participating in society, if you get older and you need care, you are going to rely on society in order to aid you in that care. And that's typically going to be people who are younger than you. So we need a
Yeah,
replenishment of workers in order for society to continue. So you can say it's a choice all you want, but it's a choice you want people to make. Because if
of
people
course.
don't have children, then industries are going to collapse, workers are not going to be available, and society is going to decay. So if this is a choice that is necessary to the continuation not only of our society, but to the continuation of productivity and a collaborative society, then again, I don't know why that labor would not be paid.
Well, then you would have to say that men who are fathers should get paid too, right?
I mean, if they're staying home, sure. It would just depend to the degree in which they were doing the domestic labor.
So you're talking about moms who stay home.
Yeah, like you get paid for the hours you work. Could be a
So
similar thing. Could be
so
a
so
salary,
you're
could be hourly.
so you're assuming that that it's a single mom then, right?
No, not even a single mom. You can be a stay-at-home mom.
Okay, so why what makes it hard or impossible for her to uh, do things that provide an income rather than relying on the state?
Obviously, children are a barrier to labor, especially before grade school. What do you suggest she
I'm
does
sorry.
before
I'm
grade
sorry.
school?
I'm sorry. What? You're saying
Children
that
are a barrier to paid labor.
kids are forced into labor?
I'm saying children are a barrier to paid labor. I can't go to work if my toddler needs care.
Though that's why they have daycare and such, right? And then families and friends that go watch the kids.
Well, guess what? Daycare costs money. So now we have to assess what is
Right.
the
And
cost of
so
daycare.
and so if the mom has a job, then she doesn't have to rely on the state.
How much does daycare cost annually?
That isn't a point. It's about either you want a welfare state or the mom can find ways to make money.
Well, I don't want a welfare state because I'm not capitalist, but capitalism
Right.
requires
But
a
welfare, no,
welfare state.
welfare states are usually a socialist thing.
That's not a socialist thing, no.
Yes, it is.
It's not. But before we get on to that, like, because I'm fine discussing that with you, I would like to know what the annual cost of daycare is.
I don't know. I'm not a parent. But
Okay.
that doesn't defeat my point about that a mom can't work. Like if she had a chicken
So tell
farm in her
me
backyard, hold on. If she had a chicken farm in her backyard, then she could go to the farmer's market in her area and sell eggs. There's always a way for a mom to make money. If she knows how to make quilts, she could sell quilts or make socks.
Right, but you understand that that takes time and labor, and then what is the return on your
So
investment?
women shouldn't work. Women shouldn't work. So they're given the
Taking
opportunity
care
in
of
society
children
to.
is work.
Yeah, and if a woman doesn't want to do both, then she should pick one or the other.
Right. So
If
again,
women, if
I'm saying if
if
she
women
wants
have
to
a
take care
choice,
of her
it,
children and that is her labor, then she should be paid for it.
but you're still not addressing the issue that she could find other work within her home. Now that we have technology, she could sell things online. She could be a YouTuber and make money off of YouTube videos. Those are ways to do it.
What does the average creator make a year on YouTube?
See, I think you're just beating around the bush, and I'm coming up with solutions, and you're just like arguing everything I say.
That doesn't sound like an answer. But also, the range is like in the $18,700 a year range per child.
Yeah, but
So
women are not being
the
forced
thing
to have
is,
kids.
right, but we've already have established that children are a necessity to capitalism because they replenish the labor force. So this is a choice
No,
that
you
you
said
want.
that. I didn't say
You
that. No,
disagree?
you said that.
You
I
disagree?
think any society. I said any society.
Great. So then you agree it is true of capitalism.
Any society, not
So
exclusively
you
to
agree that
capitalism.
it is also true of capitalism.
But the idea of motherhood is not a capitalist idea.
I'm not saying that it is, but we're talking about what labor should be compensated.
It's not labor.
It is labor. Why don't you think you
No,
think the
no,
daycare worker? One
it's the
second.
victim card. It's
One
the
second.
no. You're playing the
One
victim card
second.
about
Sure,
being a
sure.
mom.
You think a daycare worker should be compensated. So you think they're doing labor to where they
No,
should
if the mom
receive
doesn't, if the mom, no, you're just going.
Um. Oh wait, that's the wrong joint. Hold on
How
one
she
second.
can support
Hey,
if
hey, Irish, can you hear me?
yeah.
All right. I'm gonna do a quick thing here. Where is it? That's the one. There we go. All right. Now, me and Kenzie are the only ones that can hear you. I need you to do me a favor. I get that I get the sense that this is like a very passionate issue for you, right? I don't care about that. I need you to stop interrupting, right? And when you hear Kenzie say a thing, I don't know, nobody can hear you except for me. Okay? What I want you to do is when you hear Kenzie talking, do not interrupt. Let Kenzie finish. So here's I'm not going to go back and forth with you on this. So if you hear Kenzie talking, do not interrupt. And then when she's done, then you can say your statement. So
I don't think I have interrupted you.
yeah, she hasn't interrupted you. All right.
Great.
Dope. All right. Sorry, everybody. We got Irish back on the line. We're gonna go through this call. Go ahead and continue from where y'all was at.
So my point is that you consider the daycare worker to be doing labor that is worthy of compensation. I don't know why. Then if that is labor worthy of compensation, why the parent doing the same labor wouldn't be worthy of compensation?
Because it sounds like you're making it sound like a woman has to be a mother in order to have a living or something like that.
No, I think women should have the individual autonomy to either focus on something that they're passionate about or raise children. I'm saying
I totally agree.
if they choose to raise children, then they should be compensated for that labor. I don't think they should be dependent
And who's
on their
paying for that?
husband.
Well, then who's paying for that? The state?
If we're talking about a capitalist system, then yes, it has to be the state. But I'm
But
not
that's
a
also
capitalist.
what. Okay, well, that's also what socialism does.
No. I'm a communist, so my ultimate goal is for a classless, moneyless society. That's how I think people can experience true liberation. So I would like to get rid of the
No,
capitalist society.
is it capitalism that's wrong, or just how it's implemented?
Capitalism in general.
Why is capitalism the problem?
Because at the center of it is profit, not human need
But
or flourishing.
you could argue that even with communism.
No, communism is not about profit. It's moneyless.
The Soviet Union was not moneyless.
Right. They didn't achieve the ultimate form of capitalism. They were doing communism as a verb, trying to achieve it as the end goal. But they were operating within a global capitalist market.
Well, either way, I mean, the fact that most of society viewed them as communists. So,
Well, I'm saying they are
I,
communists in the fact they're doing communism as a verb. They just hadn't reached the end stage
right, but
of a classless,
in
moneyless
any case,
society because capitalists intervened.
well, okay, so how should the mother be compensated if there's no money?
In communism, she
And
would
your
just be
theory,
given she would just have access to resources, necessary resources, which is what money
like,
is supposed to be designed
like
for,
what? Like
like
what?
food, clothing, shelter, water.
That's what welfare is for.
Under capitalism, yes, but we live
So
in a
then
post-scarcity society.
why couldn't you just apply for welfare then if money is an issue?
Wait, you're saying that you are against a welfare state under capitalism.
I'm making your argument. If it's about support, then then she could just apply for welfare.
Well, I think welfare in general is designed to keep women in poverty because it's not designed to meet
Only
like a
women,
cost.
or I'm sorry. Go
Specifically
ahead.
women. Yeah, specifically women. Yeah, because like a majority of people who apply for welfare are women, and especially mothers as well, because children are a
My
barrier to paid labor.
Okay. Well, I can definitely agree with that because I was raised poor, and so I know all about that, about being on welfare. So when I was a kid, so I get that. Um, but so just for clarity's sake, you believe in like no monetary eh, society?
Correct. I'm a communist. I think because we live in a post-scarcity society, we have the technology and the means of production in order to provide basic necessities for everyone, and that we should be freed from meaningless labor and focus on human needs and flourishing in order to really experience liberation. Yeah.
What is considered meaningless labor?
Like if we look at industries that are within capitalism that I find completely meaningless to human existence, like finance is a great example.
Okay,
A
could
lot
you
of
explain that to
entertainment,
me?
like gambling.
Okay, so let's focus on gambling. So just so you can educate me, because I don't know about the stuff. So could you make that as a point? Let's just use gambling as an example.
Yeah. What
Could you,
what do you want me to further explain? Gambling does
well,
nothing
just
to
elaborate.
provide
Um,
needs for anyone. It's a source of
oh, I totally
entertainment.
agree.
Right.
I
So,
totally agree. Yeah,
and it's completely designed in capitalism just to be a for-profit industry
I totally agree.
and then
I couldn't
collect
agree with you anymore.
profits. Great. So
I
then
totally agree.
if we don't have the goal of profit as a society, then we can get raised and people are free from doing that meaningless labor.
Okay, but then do people have free will?
I don't know what you mean by free will.
Um, a sense of being able to make choices.
Sure, I would say they would have more free will under communism than they do under capitalism.
Okay. So you feel people are being forced to work in gambling casinos?
What?
I'm honestly trying to understand where you're coming from. That's all. I'm not trying to argue with you.
Yeah, I think people participate in that society because they are denied in that industry because they are denied resources. And so they're looking for money in order to get resources.
Okay. So putting aside the whole mom thing, what other examples of feminism are good? Because again, like my experience with people who are feminists, that's what your original point is doesn't come up. Usually, it's about not having job opportunities that are equal to men. That's usually what
I
I'm
never
familiar
said
with.
that.
What's that?
So if we look at the origin of feminism, feminism was born from from an abolishment of slavery movement, and then also recognized like worker co-ops, and it was the first boycotting of certain industries that promoted slave labor. So I would say feminism was always centered around the liberation of women as well as anti-capitalist sentiments.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I have to be honest. I'm not that informed. I just wanted to understand your point of view. That's all. It's just an honest, curiosity.
Dope.
I'm not here to really argue against your position. I think we agree on a few good points, honestly, and I'm willing to go home with that one. You know what I mean? I think, yeah, on the gambling, I think that's something we agree on a positive note. You
Well,
know,
you have to realize that a lot
uh,
of finance is just gambling.
I'm sorry.
Well, I'm gonna
A
jump
lot
in
of
here.
Yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
W to Katie for the boot. And Irish, I think based on the conversation, I think you should like look into reading a little more of at least some theory on the stuff we're talking about, so you can get a better understanding. Yeah, I'm gonna bring up the next caller like directly straight through because I think they want to talk about the same thing, and I just want to like do the segue. So
Sure.
coming up, oh, one of the screeners took him. I'm gonna steal him from the screener. Coming up is Slayer 29, and they want to talk about paying mothers. Feminism is bad, and they seem to be ready. Slayer, can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, so I see that your name is Slayer, and you're 29.
Yep.
What are your pronouns?
He, him.
Dope. All right, and you said you wanted to talk about paying mothers as an offshoot of
Yeah,
your
it's like
opinion that feminism is bad.
no, I never said that
So,
feminism's bad.
okay,
So you think
so
feminism's good?
yeah, based.
I mean, feminism's a pretty big topic, what you say,
Yeah.
and it's stretched a very long time. So I'm not going to talk about something that I don't know everything about. You know what I mean? As far as that goes, because there's different, from what I've seen, different ways of feminism, and like the previous caller said, people define it differently, or their interests that got them into feminism are different. So
So what
I'm
did
not
you
going to
want to
broad
talk
stroke
about?
and just say. I wanted to back up to the labor paying mothers.
Yeah.
So for the sake of like learning or debate or anything, I just wanted to grant like that I'd say if I was going to say yes to that, right? It was like I could see it seems like it's a utility thing where like I don't want to get off in the weeds about this, but I guess one argument I had for it, or one like thought, was it is labor, no doubt. I mean, I would say that's why it falls to like utility. At least the argument seems it's coming from like a utility
I'm really confused.
perspective.
Can you get to your point?
How are we going to ensure if it's viewed as a job, is what you're saying, right? And that we should be paid. I was in queue. I didn't get to hear some parts. I thought I heard you say something about through like programs or resources and stuff. Is that how you were saying that we could pay mothers for their labor?
It
Or
would just
support
be
them?
state paid. Yeah, just be paid by the state under capitalism.
So like a check is what you're saying? Like just a normal, like any other job?
Yeah.
You said yes.
Mm-hmm.
So how are we ensuring that they're doing like their job properly? Is it just simply based off of their kid? Like they just have a kid, so we're going to pay them? Unlike another job where somebody's in your business and making sure you're doing what you're supposed to. Like,
I
this
mean,
needs to get done.
well,
That's all
what
I'm
does that
asking.
have to
Granting
do with
that,
anything? Do you disagree with the
granting
premise
that
that people should be paid, that women should be paid for their labor when it comes to raising children?
if I'm willing to grant the utility perspective of it, because I don't think that you should be necessarily worried about getting paid for being a mother from I have a child, I should, through responsibility, want to take care of it, want to raise it. But if we want to help mothers, which I'm for, and I'll grant paying them, it's how are we ensuring that they're, doing right by their children? Like,
I
I'm willing to
mean, I
grant
don't
that,
think we
hey, I'm
we
willing to put
ensure
my
that
money forward.
over. I don't think we ensure that within any government position. Like, how do we know the military is doing a good job? How do we know the IRS is doing a good job? Like, we don't.
Well, we
And
do
I
hold
don't
people
really
accountable.
care about this like part of the conversation. Do you expect me to have like a 15-point plan of how the state would execute this?
I mean, you brought it up, right? Like, that's part of the
I did bring it
feminism
up,
points that you
correct.
had. So, like, I was trying to come here peacefully and say, like, do you have ideas about how this would look, right? Not just like theory where it's just
Yeah,
out
they
in
would
the
just
ether.
receive a
Yeah, it
check.
sounds cool, but like, I didn't know if there was a way that we could go about doing that that's reasonable, like something that could be proposed
What do you mean
to
reasonable?
politicians. Like what I was saying, where
Do you think that
we,
the education system is educating children?
yes,
Really?
whether or
What
not
makes
it's
you think that?
good, so they're just
What?
sitting in the classroom, they're not getting
Well, I mean,
tested,
if we look at
they're not having teachers. Do I think it's
Americans
poor?
today,
Yes.
60% of Americans are illiterate.
So it's poor education, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Is the education system, the state funded and state ran education system, doing a good job?
No, it's not.
Okay. So I think this is because of capitalism. So if you want me to operate in a society where we have capitalism, then these are the entailments that I'm going to make. I am anti-capitalist. So I want to abolish the system, because even if I talk about like state, like in the UK, they have state housing. And we can see that even when state housing occurs, that these houses are kept in poor condition. There is an expansion of them. And then also they can even be left vacant to increase private rental rates. I think the state in itself is a bad actor, because also the state is ran by the bourgeoisie class, and the bourgeoisie class is always going to lobby and invest interests that benefit them. And the state is going to comply with that, because all representatives need to have campaign financing, and they go to the bourgeoisie to do so. So if you're asking me, how are things going to function in a non-functioning system? I recognize that there is going to be some level of bad performance, but you're already putting me within that system. I don't want that system. I don't want a system of capitalism.
Do you think, do you recognize like that capitalism has socialist or social programs?
Socialism and socialist programs are not the same thing.
Sure. But what I'm getting at is I see people that argue about capitalism, and then there's people that are very pro-capitalist that won't recognize that we do have programs that are already showing that it like seems to lean toward like a socialist program,
It's
right?
not
Like
socialist.
where
It's not socialist.
okay, it's not
This is
socialist.
still capitalism because we have to recognize that there are industries or there are labor sects that do not generate profit. Raising children does not generate profit. And that's a problem under capitalism because that's how capitalism is designed, to generate profit. That's why even
understand that I can
businesses
have all
like
the answers.
hospitals fail because they don't generate profit, even though they're a necessity for
Did you
society.
say earlier that like I think it was something about communism wasn't perfected? I think it was when the previous caller brought up.
Look, it seems like you and Irish are here to do a Q&A so that I can educate you on the issues that women face under capitalism, the issues of capitalism, and what communism or socialism is. Do you have any position?
I don't see how communism is going to benefit people. I mean, unless you can
What is
enlighten me
communism?
on what is communism,
Mm-hmm.
what is capitalism.
That's not answering my question.
I got you. It's a market system marked by the private ownership of the means of production for the purpose of profit. All right, now what is communism?
Would communism not be the opposite of that?
What's the opposite of that?
It would be owned and ran by people.
Are private
everybody?
citizens not people? What are you talking about?
Would Google
Like,
tell
I
me
don't know
what
how you can
communism
have a
is?
discussion about communism when you don't even know what it is.
Well, you looked at communism, right? You go for communism, and I would just go to the general thing that people like to go to and say, show me a country that's done well under communism.
All of them. All of them.
But wait,
They have actually outperformed capitalism.
but real quick, how are you skipping ahead to show me a country when you don't know what the thing is? Like if I was to tell you that I have a race car that operates on Gleba,
Sunshine.
like it operates on Gleba, and it can run really fast. And then I show you 3 race cars, and you have no idea what Gleba is. How would you know which one it is to know if it's operating like I said?
You said you were Marxist, right?
I'm a philosopher. Kenzie's a
No,
Marxist.
I'm talking about.
Yeah, but
so she's going off of.
hold on. Do
Is
you
this
hear
more
what I'm saying?
Q&A?
Do you hear what I'm saying?
No, I was just trying to get clarification that you're going off of Karl Marx's version.
I'm not going off anything. You brought us to communism. You want to discuss communism. Give me a position.
So, no class, no private ownership is what you said earlier, right?
I don't know why you're going off what I'm saying when this is your position. You don't like communism. What is that to you?
Communism is everybody has a stake in the infrastructure of their country, and
I don't
that
even
there's
know
no
what that
bourgeoisie.
means.
There's no
What do you mean, real quick? What do you mean by a stake?
like a established like land, like these are these people, like bordered, whether you want to call it a state, a country, a territory.
So when you say
I'm saying
everybody has a stake in the infrastructure, what does that
state.
mean?
Yeah, like everybody would have like common ownership.
Of just the land?
No, that's why I said infrastructure. Like literally
Like
everything that we have,
like the roads and the bridges.
and whatever programs we have, our schools.
Holy
Like-
shit!
I don't know what that means.
Okay,
Like I just
guess
have
then
access to roads. I have access to schools. What does that mean?
It's common ownership, right? Like,
Okay, of what?
quick Google, forgive me. Communist Manifesto, common ownership, factories, land, and resources belong to the public or the state instead of private owners. No classes. Society aims to remove the gap between the rich and the poor.
Are you
creating
reading
equal
an
community.
AI overview of the Communist Manifesto right now?
Yes, I am.
Is there a button on my?
I mean, you literally couldn't tell me what communism
You
was.
don't have what?
I need a button.
You
Oh,
couldn't
there
tell
it
me what
is.
communism was.
You didn't ask me. I asked you.
No.
But listen,
But yeah, I literally asked you.
but you're
I asked you
trying to.
about the things that you brought up earlier regarding communism. and then
Slayer.
you said,
Right,
no,
because all this has
don't
been
focus on
is a
what I said.
Q&A. All this has been is a Q&A. You're having me do all the heavy lifting. What do you think about this? What do you think about this? What do you think about this? And the reason you're doing that is because you have no thoughts. You
But
have no
This wasn't
position.
This literally wasn't
You
about
don't
communism or
have,
anything
you
for me.
aren't educated in it.
entire-
That's why you're having me explain everything.
That's why I talked about feminism, right? When you asked me about, you immediately went to feminism is bad on my part, and I didn't say that.
Hold on,
I wanted
real
to
quick.
continue the
Wait.
discussion.
Slayer. Don't do that. Like, I asked you if that's what you said. When you said no, I just moved off of it. Like, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, that's what
right?
I'm getting at.
Hold
Because you were talking about the Q&A thing.
the Q. Well,
It's
that's
exactly
one question.
what this is. It is exactly what this is, because all you do is ask me questions and you give no position. So I'm asking you to give a position, and you're like, I don't like communism. Okay, that's a position. What do you mean by communism? And you don't even fucking know.
Because that's not what I came to discuss. You asked
Then
me
why
what my
are you
position was
discussing things
on
that
whether
you
or
don't know
not-
anything about? So you just came up here to ask me questions so that you can get educated.
No. I
So-
wanted
Then what'd
to
you come
ask
up here
and
for?
I did ask you. I asked the only reason I
What
came up
did
here
you
was to
come up
ask
here
you.
for?
I granted you that I was for, like, paying mothers, right? And I asked you
What did
how
you
we were
come
gonna
up
go
here
about that.
for?
To be convinced that my position was good, like by agreeing with you, where it's like,
You want
I'm
me to
on the
convince
fence.
you that
This
your
is-
position's good?
yeah, this was a new thing where I was like, all
So
right.
you hold a
I heard-
position that you don't believe to be true?
No, I said I was on the fence, right? I heard y'all talking about it. The previous guy was talking about a bunch of different stuff, but I sat on, like, this idea of paying mothers.
Y'all ain't gonna make me.
You
lose
had
my
a good
account.
idea about. You had a good idea about, like, it is labor. So I was convinced of that. I was like, no doubt it's labor, but my argument or my questions were, how are you going to ensure that, like, we're paying them for a good reason? Like, are they actually doing their job? Like, what does that look like?
Are mothers already doing their job and not getting paid?
Are they already doing their job and not getting paid?
Yes.
Some are and some aren't.
How do you determine that?
How do I determine what exactly?
What mothers are doing their job and what mothers aren't doing their job?
I don't, because I don't have to, because
I just asked
I'm not the
you,
one.
are mothers currently doing their job and not getting paid? And you said some
And I
are, some
said-
aren't. So how do you determine that? How do you determine who is doing their job and how do you determine who's not doing their job?
That's literally what I was asking you.
Well, you have made the claim that some are and some aren't. So
That-
I'm asking how you assess that.
I don't have to because I'm not the one that is going for we should pay mothers.
Right,
No.
but wouldn't you want mothers to do a good job anyway? Do you want them to do a good job now?
Yes.
Great. How are you making sure that happens?
I would argue that they're already getting paid.
How?
A roof over their head and having basic
Wait.
needs paid for.
Wait. Where's that roof coming from?
A man, usually. Or themselves if they're working for it.
So then they're not getting paid to do the thing they're doing.
I don't get paid for taking my fucking trash out. I don't get paid for like abiding by the law and not getting people killed.
Time out. Now it just sounds like you're jealous of the movement, right? Like you came up, and this is the thing that annoys me
It's a
about
utility
people.
argument. I'm
No,
saying
it's,
that we
it's
do
really
things all the
not.
time.
It's really not. And you said that several times, and Kenzie generously let you get away with it. But it's not a utility argument. It's literally.
I'm not the one that regulated. Literally, y'all reduced motherhood to a job to get paid for.
Nobody reduced anything to anything. Do you look, it's very simple, right? Do you agree that taking care of a child is labor? It could be a trillion other things, but is it labor?
Yes.
Okay, great. Does the state have an interest in mothers doing that labor?
As far as what she was saying, where it provides people to work.
No.
Well, in any metric, whatever you don't have to take my answers. Quit cheating off my paper.
I'm saying, does the state have an interest? Like for example, I have an interest if there's a leak in my house in a plumber coming to fix the leak. Therefore, I go up to the plumber and I pay him or her money, so that they can go fix the leak. Because I have an interest in not having a leaky faucet, right? Does the state have an interest in mothers raising new people to create widgets and turn cogs and sell sandwiches or whatever?
Sure, I'll grant that.
Okay.
What do you think it is?
Good question.
What do you think the state's interest is?
You're not going to have a state if you don't have people.
Really? You can't even do taxes? Come on. Go ahead, Jeff.
So, if the state has that interest in the labor that's being done, then they should pay for that labor, right?
I don't know about that.
So you're saying
not
that
completely-
just generally, just as a general principle, if I have an interest in you doing labor for me, right? Like I think that there's something that you should do that benefits me that I can't do, right? Then I should expect you to do it, but not pay you to do it.
Is there something else? Like, is there like another analogy? Is there something comparable?
He already gave you the
to-
plumber analogy. He has an interest
That's
because
not
he has
good
a
one.
house.
That was not a good
How
one.
is that not a good one? He has
So-
a house. He has
That
a
was not a
leaky
good one
pipe.
because he assumes that a plumber has to come and fix a leak. And that we
Listen.
wouldn't-
He has an
no,
interest
hold
in
on.
someone
Fix it
coming fixing the
ourselves.
leak. Should they be
Real
paid
quick.
for that?
Real quick, that doesn't make it disanalogous, because in the same way that a plumber doesn't have to come fix the leak, and no person has to rear children.
No person has to rear children.
Nobody has to have children.
Yeah, see how that works out.
Well, that's why the state has an interest. Like, look, I've been married for a long time. I don't have any kids. Do you think I'm upset? Do you think I'm having a shitty life?
No.
Okay. So then,
I'm not going to grant you that you have a good one. I don't know. I simply do not know.
do you think it's possible to have a fulfilling life without having kids.
1,000%.
Okay, great.
1,000%.
So it's not like when you say see how that works out, you're talking about see how that works out for society, right?
Yeah, but it's not even society. It's like literally human population. Like, it's unrealistic to think that
So
we're just all going to stop having sex. You know what I mean?
no, I'm not
Somebody's
talking
gonna
about.
feel-
I'm not talking
Jeff
about
has
that.
sex and he doesn't have kids.
Yeah, like that's
You don't gotta
that's
stop
crazy.
having.
I'm saying if people like in the same way that like if 0 people were plumbers, society would fall apart, correct?
Yes.
All right. If 0 people were like chefs, society would fall apart, correct?
Sure.
All of these are analogous. So there are things that if people stop doing them and they don't have to do them, then society would fall apart, which is literally what I'm saying, that society has an interest in doing something. Now, in a plumber's case, I personally have an interest in a plumber coming to my house. So I will pay that plumber, right? But in society's case, society has an interest in people having children because otherwise, like you admitted to your lights, society would fall apart, correct?
Yeah.
That's all it is. I mean, this isn't like a utility
it
thing.
does-
This is just logic.
Well, it simply seems it seems a little ridiculous when we're like, if we don't have this thing, we're not going to have a society anymore. If we don't have people that cook food or have kids or any of that, we're not going to have a society anymore. It's like that's literally never going to happen.
I didn't ask you if it's ever going to happen because, again, you
Well,
were
that's what
really, but no, you were really quick to say, yeah, if people stop being plumbers, society would fall apart. That is a true thing, right?
Yeah, it's a true statement. Yeah.
Okay. That doesn't mean that it's 100% ever going to happen or not
I
happen.
mean, like, to be fair, I was granting it to listen and everything.
Well,
I
no,
don't
you're not
necessarily-
granting. Look,
fully-
hold on.
I don't fully agree with that because
so-
we
so-
literally had society for a long time without plumbers. But do I want a society without plumbing? No. That's
No,
why I said.
listen.
Oh my God.
We've never had a society without plumbers. Like, we didn't have society until we could move water. Like, do you think
Is
that
that
society?
like one of the?
What do you think
Is that like
plumbing
one of
is?
the factors for saying we have a society?
Wait, so you think that a group of people can survive in an area where water doesn't exist without moving water?
People live near rivers.
They still have to move water.
Is that considered a plumber?
What do you think plumbing is?
Plumbing is going to be a system that moves water through an entire town or where people live, right? For us, it's going to be for drinking water, to bathe, and to use the toilet, right?
Okay. So even when there weren't like modern pipes and people were going, they still had to move water, correct?
Yeah, so if I go to the river and I scoop it up with a bucket and I walk to my town, that's considered a plumber?
I would consider that a form of plumbing, yes.
Okay.
It would just be moving water. But regardless, if you're not moving that water, your society, I mean, forget collapse, your society's going to die. You need water, right?
Yeah.
So then, yeah, like that. I mean, that just follows. There's so many things that a society needs. If society didn't need it, then we wouldn't need to do it. And if society needs it, anything like, I really don't even know why this is like a difficult. Like, I simplified it as far as I could, but like,
Well,
It's just a principle.
It comes to if we're going to pay mothers for being mothers because there's a utility in it, because the state has an interest in it, then there's going to be a ton of other things that we don't currently pay people for that they do that help everybody.
That's I don't really care about that. Like if you have an argument for some labor that somebody's doing, let me do this. Hey Kenzie,
I'm saying we
if
can't
you heard
afford
an
to do it.
argument, hold on, Slayer, watch this. Kenzie, if you heard an argument for some labor that somebody's doing in society that they're not getting paid for, and society has an interest in them doing that labor, would you object to them getting paid?
No.
See, easy.
We can't pay for everything, can we?
Sure, we can.
Some things in our
We 100%
some things
can.
in our society we're going to have to essentially hope that people are going to abide by it long enough for everybody to see the benefit.
I really like the plumbing analogy. So we agree that Jeff has an interest in getting his pipe fixed. You think Jeff should pay a plumber, correct?
If he has to have a plumber, yes.
Great. So you've already agreed the state has an interest in mothers raising children. Why shouldn't they pay them?
That's what I was on the fence about. Or it's like I could see
Well, tell me why you agree with Jeff paying the plumber, but not the state paying the mother.
One's
What?
it's my house, right? And I have a leak and somebody's able to fix it and they want payment, I'm going to pay them. If they're not going to do it without me paying them, then
Wait.
that's where it's
So
at, right? Like,
we've already talked about Jeff has an interest. He should pay the plumber. The state has an interest. Why shouldn't they pay people for raising children?
because that's what I was asking about earlier. You can't
I'm
ensure
asking
that
you.
it's going to be done right. If this
You're not going to ensure
if
that
I
the
go-
plumber's going to do it right.
If my fucking house is leaking, then he didn't do it right, and I can sue his ass.
Wait, how
doing the job wrong.
long do you have to be unaware he didn't do it right? Right? He could do a temporary fix that lasts 3 to 6 months. Then what?
I'm sure there's some sort of laws about if it's going on this long, then he's covered by it. But if not, then he can get sued for it.
Right. So you would acknowledge that's a civil suit, correct?
Yes. If I'm suing
And you have to
somebody
pay
over
lawyers, right?
that right there. Yes.
Is that a barrier for people who don't have the money to pay for lawyers?
Yes.
Great. So then you're saying that people can do labor, not be good at it, and get away with it, right?
I mean, there is something called pro bono, so plenty of lawyers do that.
No, they don't.
And
yes, they do.
And not for a plumbing case.
If they see money in it, yes,
What is
they will.
pro bono?
I'm not going to define that, but what I meant by
Pro
it,
bono means they
sure.
do it for free.
What has happened? Yo.
Yeah, I'm going to do it, and if I win, I'm giving you my services for free in hopes that it pays off. If I do good enough...
That's not pro bono.
Okay, it's not. That's what I'm getting at. Lawyers will go, I'm going to handle your case, and I'm going to take a piece of what they pay out for it as payment and for my services.
Right.
And
You think that a lawyer who typically charges $100 to $200 an hour is going to take a cut of a small claims?
how do we know it's a small claim? If somebody's house just got flooded because the plumber didn't do his job well, and it's within that time that you can say he didn't do it, and it was a direct effect of him not doing his job, I paid him for it, and my house is now flooded after he did whatever he did.
Yeah, what's that going to cost you?
It might be
50 grand?
what's what going to cost me?
What, it's going to do 50 grand worth of damage?
Who knows? I mean, literally, it's gonna be flooding the
Well,
house.
give
You
me
got
a
your
number because
valuables
you're
in there.
telling me like most people, most lawyers who work on contingency, which is what that's called, only do so with like big corporations, not with plumbers.
A lot
Because
of claims
even if
there.
the
You
judgment
can-
goes in your favor, there's no guarantee the plumber will pay you. They could just claim bankruptcy. And then boop, the lawyer doesn't get any money.
And that's what gonna happen all the time.
A majority of the time, yeah. Like if you're talking about a plumber from a small business, yeah, that's why lawyers who do contingency work only typically do it for large corporations who have big bankrolls.
Don't they have to have insurance to cover stuff like that?
You tell me.
Yeah, they do.
And insurance have limits, don't they?
Everything's
We'll only
got a
cover
limit.
X amount of
What are you
money.
talking about?
We'll only cover
You're
X
gonna
amount
get
of
something
money.
for it.
Not to the degree that a lawyer will find a vested interest to take their $1 to $200 hour labor to invest in something that's going to take at least what 500 hours, depending on how many delays there are. Like I feel like
You
again,
think
you're
it's
just
gonna take
talking about
500
something you
hours?
don't. Yeah.
You think it's going to take 500 hours and he's not going to get paid anything, and that's a risk that a lawyer is willing to take at the end of
The
the
lawyer
day.
is not willing to take, correct?
They don't take risks.
Correct.
Wrong?
Not when it comes to that small amount of money, no. Like, are you familiar
It's
with the
not a-
Aaron Brockovich case?
It's not a small amount of money. To a
It
degree,
is
like,
$50,000 is a small amount of money to a lawyer. It absolutely is.
that's
Lawyers who
your
work
number
on
you put out there. I'm
contingencies,
talking about a house.
yeah. What, you think you're going to get millions of dollars?
No, but I mean, what is a housing price right now? Average house is through the roof, right? We're
You're
looking
not
at,
going to get the value of
200
your house.
but you've got things inside of it, valuables.
Why
You're
would
not
that
gonna-
be included?
Yeah, you're not going to get that either. You would be expected to have some homeowner's insurance or renter's insurance to mitigate your damages. Yeah, and I'm just going to say this just for the chat, like pro bono means without fee, like period, means without fee.
Okay, cool.
So again, if you think Jeff has an interest in getting his pipes fixed, you think he should play the plumber. The state has an interest in people raising and having children. Why shouldn't they pay parents? I just want the symmetry
that-
breaker.
Okay. I'm gonna slow it down, pull it off. So Jeff has an interest in getting a plumber because of the leak in his house, right? He has an interest in paying, right? So why
Just to be
would
clear,
the state-
even if I didn't have a leak in my house, I have an interest in a plumber coming if I just want a new sink. I have an interest in a plumber coming if I just want to put in a new bathroom. Like anything I
for
want to do that
services,
requires
right?
a plumber, I have an interest.
I don't know what any of these clarifying questions have to do with the symmetry breaker. You understand Jeff has an interest, therefore he should pay a plumber to fulfill his interest. The state has an interest, why shouldn't they pay the parent for raising the child if that's their interest?
Interest and labor are different though, right?
Oh my God.
Wait, I don't know what that did. Like, what do you mean?
Just because somebody has an interest in something doesn't mean that they should be paying someone, right?
So Jeff
Right.
should not pay the plumber.
So wait, you're saying that raising children is not labor?
It is labor. It's a
Okay.
necessary labor.
All right, so then you have an interest and there is labor. So I don't know what that did.
It feels like a blackmail situation where it's like, if y'all don't pay us, we're going to stop raising our.
Yeah, that's more bad faithness. W. Rachel for the PayPal to kick, and we're sharing it with you, Kenzie. So I got a text.
Oh,
you.
really? Thank you.
Yeah.
That's so nice of you.
And the reason I started the kick fund so fast was because we do have another caller. I like that because now like that means we don't have like that pause in between. And this one might be me, although there's 2 topics here, right? So we've got coming up directly, like we're just gonna keep it going, right? Let me see, where's the
W.
I got it.
Rachel, thank you so much.
Yeah, W to Rachel.
Hi, Tiff.
All right, cool. So coming up, we got Tony. Let me just make sure I got that down. And we're bringing him up. Tony's 50. He has 2 topics here, so I'm going to give him a choice. So, Tony, you should be able to hear my voice. Can you confirm that you are Tony and you are indeed 50?
Yes.
And what are your pronouns?
He.
All right, dope.
He, him.
Awesome. And so you told the
Unless
you
you,
told,
talk,
yeah,
unless you ask my wife, then it's probably an asshole. But go ahead.
No,
I'm sorry.
you're good. So you did tell the screener 2 topics here. You said you wanted to talk about the mother's pay and God is real. I honestly would prefer to do the second one, but I'm going to make it your choice. Like we have been talking about the mother's pay topic for a while. So if at this point people haven't gotten it, then like I really don't know what to say. But regardless of that, and your sound is a little kind of like buzzy, like it's kind of hard to hear you. So I don't know if it's the line or the microphone.
How about, let's see. Hold on a second. Let's see if I can help that out here. Mm-hmm. 1 second there. Let me figure this out. I'm old.
No, you're good. You're.
Can you hear me any better now? By any chance?
It's still buzzy.
Oh, God. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to figure out how to get off this Bluetooth. Thought maybe that'll make it better. Oh, right there. Boom, boom. Told you I was old. Boom. How about now?
It's a little better. We'll brave it. But which topic did you want to go with?
Okay. Well, I tell you what. Can I do this? I just want to just make one quick statement about something, and then we'll move on to topic 2. Just one quick statement. Okay. So when it comes to the mothers being paid to bring up their children, raise their children, you say it's an interest of the state. I would just say that it's an interest of society, not necessarily of the state. Maybe that's where the confusion was there.
Where does the state get their revenue?
They get it from our taxes.
Right, so it's from society.
Yeah.
Well, but it's not necessary. It's the society's. It's in our interest that we're raising, that kids are growing up and they can contribute back to society. That is in society's interest, not necessarily the state's.
It's also in the state's interest, because where do they get their revenue? From taxes, and eventually children will become taxpayers.
Yeah,
I would just say simply put that the state, like if it's functioning, should be representing the interests of society. Like they should be taking on those interests.
Sure, but they can't take on every interest. Like you made a plumber analogy. Your analogy basically says, well, why don't you fix your plumbing and the state pay you to fix it?
Well, that's because I have an interest, right, in the plumbing. Right. I have no interest.
We have an interest. The state has an interest in your plumbing too, because if you don't have plumbing, you can't take care of your basic health needs.
But they can make that compulsory, right? They can say, for example, that if I don't do the plumbing, right, that I'll be my house can be condemned or whatever. But that's them taking care of their compulsory interest in the neighborhood being safe. Like surely you're not saying that if they have an interest that I don't meet for children, that they're going to make it compulsory to have children, right?
I don't understand what you mean by that. I'm sorry.
What I'm saying is, like, if I have a leak, right, and I don't take care of the leak, and the state finds out about it, right, they can compel me to fix the leak or condemn my house so that I'm not flooding the neighborhood, right?
Sure. Okay. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
So they can use an enforcement arm to do that. But surely you're not suggesting they would do that with the rearing of children.
Well, they do that with the rearing of children. Children are taken away from unfit parents, all the time, right?
Yeah, that's an enforcement once you have children. But I'm saying the compelling of people to have children, to sire children, that you don't think is good.
No, I think it's good. I don't think it should be forced. And so what I mean by that is if you choose not to have children, I don't think you should be forced to have children. And to be clear on that, I mean forced to get pregnant and have children.
Yeah.
So, do you think that parents should be paid for raising children?
No, it's kind of like
Why?
Chris Rock had an old bit, and he said he was talking about this girl saying, "I take care of my kids," and his comment back was, "You're supposed to take care of your kids. What do you want, a cookie?" And that's kind of right there. You have kids. You should be now to say that if you need assistance in that. I think
now,
that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Let's say everybody stopped taking care of their kids.
Oh, okay.
And you said that the way that they handle that is they take the kids away. Who's taking care of the kids now?
In today's world, that would be what CPS would come in. They take the kids. The kids would go to a foster care, and the state would pay. Right? No, I get that. And the state would pay foster care to.
So they are saving money by the parents raising the children, right?
No, if you think that keeping a kid out of foster care, paying the mom will keep a kid out of foster care, keep the parents from doing crack or whatever. I think that's crazy.
Yeah,
They're doing things.
I legitimately don't know what work that did. I'm not even talking about people that you would say are like involved in substance use. Like I'm not positing paying parents as a way to deter people from substance use, even though poverty would be a driver of people to substance use. You are aware of that, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So in a sense, paying mothers would, in some sense, reduce the risk of people going into substance use, right?
No, because
let's just run this logically, right?
Sure.
Poverty is a risk factor for substance use. Yes?
I would say poverty. Yes, it can lead.
Let's just be reasonable. The answer.
The
answer is yes.
Yes.
Okay.
No, I'm saying it can lead because.
Meaning if it can lead to it,
sure.
That means it is a risk factor. So increasing poverty would increase substance use.
Okay.
Okay. So then the inverse, decreasing poverty would decrease substance use.
Decrease in poverty would, yes, but I don't think paying a mom is.
I didn't ask about you're going way too fast, Tony. So decreasing poverty would decrease substance use, right? We're just going logically, one step at a time.
Okay. Okay. So, but let's give me an example. Give me an example of what you mean by that.
Wait. Like decreasing poverty.
Well, then I can't agree or disagree.
Wait. So does decreasing poverty? This is the thing, right? I believe in logic more than I believe in anything. Like I think logic is a very good path to conduct reasoning. And we do this one step at a time. So if I tell you a statement that is true and you say, no, that's not true. If I say, hey, grass needs water to grow and it contains chlorophyll, and you're like, well, the next step is going to be something that I don't like, so I'm going to say no, then you're just being bad faith, and I don't want you to do that. I don't want that for you, Tony.
No,
I
I'm
want
not.
you to
I'm not
be
being.
super honest. So I'm going to say the statement again, and this time I want you to like just be honest and say, when I say decreasing poverty decreases substance use, you're going to say,
Hold on. I will answer that, but I need you to understand that I need to understand by what you mean by decrease in poverty.
yeah, I mean taking poverty and decreasing it.
Like how?
How is irrelevant. I'm
like,
saying
what do you mean?
what I mean is taking poverty and decreasing it.
Okay, but could you elaborate? Give me
Sure.
an example.
You take poverty and you make it lower. You make it less than.
Tony, what is poverty?
Well, my definition of poverty is someone who is struggling to, let's say, house themselves, clothe themselves, feed themselves. You know, there's a lot of examples. You know,
Okay, so
we see-
decreasing poverty would be so that people have access to those resources. Are we on the same
I
page?
guess it's the manner. It's the manner of which it.
Well, you're
done.
saying
But
you're
go
saying
ahead.
the manner in which it's done is getting
But yeah,
ahead of
because
the
if I had-
argument. Here's the thing, right? Like if I said,
Hold on a second.
let's say
Go ahead.
wait. Let's say I said
Go ahead.
that I have an interest in reducing the number of ants, and I say
Okay.
reducing the number of ants, right? If I said, reducing the amount of sugar on my lawn reduces the number of ants, and then you're going to
Okay.
see me saying later, like, hey, we should vacuum up all the sugar. It's irrelevant that you don't like that part, right? That's just the conclusion of the argument. So if you go, hey, reducing sugar reduces ants, and you say no, then you're irrational, right? Like clearly irrational, like obviously irrational, demonstrably irrational.
That's
So
an
what-
irrational statement. But go
Yeah.
ahead.
So if I say to you that increasing poverty, increasing substance use, and you go yes, and then I go, so decreasing poverty decreases substance use, and you're like, well, I see light at the end of this tunnel. I'm going to say no. That would be irrational, right? That's an insane statement to make, right?
But that's not what I'm saying. Of course.
So
It
you
would
do
re- it would
agree.
reduce-
So you do agree that decreasing poverty decreases substance use.
On face value, yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Would paying people additional money for labor that they're doing that is currently unpaid decrease poverty?
Well, here's what I would disagree with on that. It's like where is that money coming from? Because should I be paid to mow? Should I be paid? Should I be paid to mow my lawn? Should I be paid to mow my lawn?
I do not know, right? Like I
Well,
don't
why
know.
not?
Well, here's the thing,
it's the
right?
same
Right
thing.
now, hold on. It's not the same. First off, it's clearly not the same thing, right?
Why?
Because it's not like if it was the same thing, it would be identical. It's not the same thing. But again, this is really weird because from my perspective, if you had an argument that mowing the lawn was labor and it's labor that the state has an interest in and you do not, then that's a clear argument that it is labor that you should be paid for, and I wouldn't object to that. But I don't even know how we can't get to the point of agreeing to the baseline argument that if somebody is doing labor and the state has an interest in that labor, and that's a labor that the person may not have interest in, right, that they should be paid. And just because it's mothers, I think that just seems like a bias, right? Like if just because it's mothers, we're going to say, nah, I disagree. Where's the money coming from? Like people never say, where's the money coming from when banks are too big to fail or auto industries are too big to fail.
Military.
Yeah, when it comes for the
Cops.
military budget, like nobody says, "Hey, where's all this money coming from?" When stock buybacks are happening because corporations get huge tax cuts, nobody ever says that. Even when it's something for them, like if all of a sudden I was to say, "Hey, here's a rebate on your health insurance," or "Here's an increase on a future Social Security check," nobody would say boo. But when it's the thing they don't like, they always say, "Where's the money coming from?" The place where the money's at, I would suppose the bank. The dude that writes the checks, that's where the money's coming from.
Okay. Well, that I don't see how that makes any sense. It's like you're not hearing.
So let me ask you this question.
It's like you're not. You're not hearing.
Wait. You're 50 years old, right? That means that
Mm-hmm.
you were 32 when the housing market crashed.
Sure.
All right. That means that you were sentient, of sound mind, I hope. You were you had access to the internet, and you heard the expression "too big to fail," right?
I really wasn't paying that much of attention. I remember, but hearing about it and
Okay.
those sort of things. But too big to
But-
fail. I don't.
but if
I'm
you
not
went-
familiar with that.
If you looked into history, you would know that they gave banks this huge bailout of money.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
All right. And that nobody said where are we getting this money from before they wrote the check. They complained about it, right? But they all pretty much acquiesced immediately and wrote checks and said, here's your money, right?
Bring me up to par. Where did that money come from? I'm asking legitimately.
From you, from me, from anybody who, like, wherever it comes from our budget. It's like when the government pays for something, it comes from where they, like, this big bucket of money they have. It's called the budget. Like during COVID, right? There was a point where the stock market dropped, like, I'm going to use a term here that is used by our fearless leader, like you would have never seen before. Like it was a one-day cratering, and we spent $2 trillion in a day. And people were like, yep, we got to do it. We must do it. Right? That was just a short 6 years ago. Right?
Okay.
That money came from that bucket of money where we're always handing people money when they fuck up. That bucket of money where we're always handing people money when they play with your 401k or your pension or your tax dollars or the money that should have gone to fix the bridge in your house near your house that may have just collapsed or whatever. That bucket, from that bucket, you like if you like. There's a saying in Spanish that goes, "Tomate el chocolate, paga lo que debe," which means if you drank the hot chocolate, pay your tab. And so this is very simple. Like if somebody does labor and you think they should be paid for their labor, pay them for their labor.
Yeah, I agree. It's a service, though.
Yeah,
And a service.
in the same way that when your mortgage company or your landlord wants the rent, they're not asking where you're going to get it. They just want to get paid.
Right. So just to be clear, you're not okay with the banks. I don't think I am either, the way you laid that out. But you're okay with the other scenario with the moms.
I think if people do labor, they should be paid. I think there's an administrative labor that banks do that is like necessary for capitalism, but they're not really doing anything for society.
Tony, do you think the
Well, I
birth
mean,
rate
they're
has
providing-
decreased?
Go ahead.
Do you
Yeah,
think
I'm
the
sorry.
birth rate has decreased?
Oh, the birth rate has. I've heard that we are not populating like how we used to. I heard that China is kind of suffering from. I think it was China because of similar non-growth. But tell me,
So
has
you've
it
heard that we're
decreased,
below
or
replacement, right?
what's that?
You've heard that we're below replacement?
No, I haven't heard that.
Okay.
Explain to me what that is and what it means.
That people are having children at a rate to where more people are dying than people are being born.
Oh, okay. Is that the case? Is it the case?
Yes.
I have not. Yes, it is the case.
Yes.
Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? What's your opinion?
I'm asking you why. Why do you think that's happening?
Why aren't people having? Well, I guess either they're choosing not to get pregnant, and they're choosing not to
Right.
have babies,
Right,
or
but
they're
why?
aborting their babies.
Right. Why though? Abortion's gone down.
I think I don't know for sure, but let me take a stab at it. I think today's society is kind of going in a different direction where the family units aren't. It's not like how it was, years ago. Where what's divorce rate? Is divorce rate up these days? And maybe that has something to do
Okay.
with it. Maybe they're
Okay.
afraid to have kids.
I
Okay.
think it's because it's too expensive to have children.
Okay. Well, yeah. It ain't cheap, huh?
Yeah.
If
Do
you
you
have
think
kids, you'll know
do you
that it
think
ain't
that's
cheap.
the reason?
I don't know. I don't think that stopped anyone that I know from having kids. Not an expense thing, but I think people are having less kids. But I don't think it's from an expense thing. It might be from a burden thing that maybe they feel. Maybe they don't want to be tied down. Maybe they don't want to be, having to raise, be responsible for a life for 18 years. Maybe it has something to do with that. I don't think it's a good thing though. Especially how you explained that people are dying faster.
Tony, do you
than,
think that the
giving
wealth
birth.
gap is the largest it's historically been?
The wealth gap?
Yeah. That
I'm
there are
not.
more rich
I'm not sure.
people. You're not sure.
I'm not sure. I did have an interesting conversation with my cousin the other day. I tell you, if I had Hillary Clinton's money, I'd be doing a lot of good with it, though.
So
Not to
you
say,
don't
who knows
think the
what she's
rich?
doing with it.
You don't think so? Like Elon Musk is a trillionaire.
Right.
We have now over, I think, close to 1,000 billionaires. So the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. You don't think that that's reality?
I don't know if I've experienced that myself.
I'm not asking if you've experienced that. I'm asking you if it's reality.
Well, it's not my reality. I've heard.
It is your reality. You live in society, right?
Well, like I said, if I haven't experienced it, then it's not my reality.
Does Australia exist?
Of course.
Have you been to Australia?
No.
And how do you know it's real if you haven't experienced it?
I'm not saying what you're saying isn't real. I'm saying
then I'm asking you if that's reality. Yes or no?
If what's reality? Australia?
No.
If the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer, and we have the biggest wealth gap historically.
Did I not? I answered that. I said I wasn't sure. I'll tell you what I will do, though, for sake of this conversation. If you're saying it is, I will take your word for it. How about that?
Okay, so then can that lead to the conclusion that people are not having children because they don't have the means to do so? They can't afford it.
It might, yeah, sure.
Okay, great. So, would it make sense then to pay parents so that they do have the means to raise children?
I think you'd have to clarify more of what that means. Just like a few minutes back with the whole conversation. Gosh, I'm sorry, I forget the gentleman's name. He was making a statement about poverty. You'd have to clarify, like, what does that mean? Because does it mean like, hey, you get assistance if you apply for it and you're approved for it? 'Cause we kind of already have something like that. So you get X amount of dollars for food and X amount of dollars for clothes for a certain amount of time. If it's something like that, then I don't think I
No,
have
I
much
think people
of a
should just get
problem
a
like that.
check. I think
Yeah.
people should just get a check based on the proportionality they need to have a basic standard of living.
How do we determine that proportionality though? What's
How much
determination
income
of
they're
that?
bringing in.
Well, isn't that what I just said?
So I don't think you know what I mean by
Hold on.
proportionality. So like I
What?
live in Montana. So the community I live in order to have a basic cost of living standard is about 85,000. So I'm saying
Okay.
if a parent makes 40,000, then
Right.
they would receive the difference, which would be 45,000.
Well,
So
I
they would have a
definitely,
basic standard of living.
I definitely would see a lot of people having more children. You're literally paying people to have children. I guess the question is, would that cost offset whatever it is we're trying to offset? I guess that would be the question.
Would offset what?
Hell, I'd have a kid for $40,000. Shit, sign me up. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously, I can't.
How much is that a month?
Oh, are you asking me to calculate
Yeah.
in my head? No,
Yeah.
40,000. Oh, that's probably 40,000. I'm gonna guess at a year, right? 40,000 a year.
Yeah.
That's about. I'm gonna guess $1,300 a month. How close I get? That's a guess.
Oh, okay.
Did I get close?
It's a little under that.
Let me see. Let me pull my calculator up. 30,303. Oh, I was close. Oh no, I was way out. I said 13. I was at 13,000.
You did 1,300.
Yeah, a month, right? Oh, anyways, I don't know. I guess my math wasn't math. It must be that Common Core math. Go ahead.
I do want to pivot over to, like, I'm curious, and I'm more curious now, what this God argument is.
I can't believe you're curious.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah,
so,
he is.
I'm like
Okay, all right.
bated breath curious.
I don't expect you to agree. Here's what I expect.
Tony, have you read the Bible?
Yeah, I've read it. I've listened to it actually.
Like the whole thing?
More than I have read it. I think the Bible is for people who
The whole thing?
already believe. Huh? Yeah, I've listened to the whole thing.
Is that the New and the
That's-
Old Testament?
That's clever, though.
Yeah, the whole thing.
So you've listened to the
the whole-
New and the Old Testament.
The Bible book on
Yeah, I
tape
believe
is
I
clever,
answered
clever
that
work.
with a yes.
Okay. How many hours did that take you?
Oh, I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Ballpark.
I couldn't tell you.
Ballpark.
I have no idea. Okay, 75. I don't know. I really don't know. I couldn't give you an honest answer on
75.
that. What?
75, really?
That's almost 2 weeks of
No,
full-time
I'm
work.
telling you, I don't know. I just gave you an answer, so because you were determined to get a number out of me.
I was.
I know.
Sorry, Jeff, go
I
ahead.
know.
I'm dying here. All right, so yeah, what's the argument that we got going on?
Bro,
Okay,
you really
so
think he was gonna give
I know
an
you
argument?
guys are gonna. I know you guys are gonna disagree. I already know you guys got a canned answer.
No, I don't have a.
I do.
I'm gonna tell you.
No, I guarantee.
I've been
what's your
watching. Listen, my name is Jeff, but I've been
Yeah,
reading philosophy for most of my life. I hate, like, one thing I hate about, like, a lot of these YouTube conversations about God is how scripted they get. Like, people who know me will tell you, like, I hate that it becomes almost like a performance. I almost revel in these non-standard argument deliveries because they get people to think. So
Yeah, Tony, if
Okay.
you don't
Well,
want
I'm gonna
canned
give you a reason.
one
Oh,
second.
go
If you
ahead. I'm
don't want
sorry.
canned answers, I don't want to hear. You need to know the full context.
I don't want to hear
Okay.
look at the trees. Yeah, all of that. Let's just tell me like the argument that you have, the
Okay.
thing that convinces you that God exists.
I will give you the reason, perhaps, maybe that may change your mind. I'm assuming that you guys don't believe in God, right?
No.
Is that
Since
correct assumption?
about the early to mid 90s.
Not one
Okay,
little
fair
bit.
enough. I once had lost my faith, so I understand that position. So I'm going to give you the reason, perhaps, why you may consider, because it really doesn't hold.
We're waiting. Go ahead.
Bind my faith. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
go for it. No, you
I'm
good.
sorry.
Just dive
Okay.
right in.
So I believe that the evidence behind the Shroud of Turin proves that Christ rose from the dead. Here we go. Hold on. Let me pop that can open.
So, really quickly, I do not believe you.
No, the one thing I do not do, because I suck at it, because my conscience is lie. But go ahead.
No, I don't believe you're lying to me. I just do not believe that that's what convinces you that God exists.
It didn't convince me that God exists. I told you that when I started this, it's more for people like yourselves who need the science behind it. So
the Shroud of Turin
what?
doesn't have one shred of science behind it.
What? Tell me what you've heard and why you just.
No, it's not what I've heard. It's what I know. Like there's a paper that was
well, that's
written.
what I mean.
There was a paper published on the Shroud of Turin that was literally retracted because the science was wrong.
Well, what did the science say?
The science says that the method that they used to try to date, that they purported to try to date, was the incorrect method to use for the type of dating they were doing.
They use what? Carbon dating, right?
No.
Well, they did use carbon dating on it also. What kind of dating did they use that are you referring to?
I'll just pull up the paper that was retracted. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Ba-da-ba. 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 I mean, we could just read the article that talks about the retraction. This one.
Was that the Jeopardy music there? No,
No, this is the That's the Jeopardy music.
I'm like, I don't hear any music.
But let's see.
Are you saying I can't sing?
So we've got here. I don't
No,
know if
but
you're
I
looking
agree
at
with
the.
that.
I don't know if you're looking at the screen, but
No,
over the
I can't.
authors.
I'm all-
So we've got an article here. Over authors' objections. PLOS 1 retracts paper claiming Shroud of Turin showed evidence of trauma. A year ago, PLOS 1's published a study claiming there was strong evidence that a person wrapped in the Shroud of Turin, according to lore, the burial shroud of Jesus Christ, had suffered strong polytrauma. Today they retracted it. Atomic resolution studies detect new biologic evidences on the Turin shroud. Concerns have been raised that the data presented in this article, 1, are not sufficient to support the conclusions drawn. The provenance, integrity, and availability of the material used for the study have also been questioned. The editors are concerned that there are not sufficient controls to support conclusions referring to human blood or physical trauma. For example, period ink and animal blood controls were not included in diffraction and stem analyses, as would be needed to rule out alternative. And alternate interpretations regarding the material in the fiber, and the creatinine findings do not provide definitive evidence of trauma or violence. Thus, we consider the main conclusions of the article, including the following statements, are not sufficiently supported. And then it just goes through all the conclusions of the study. Here's the thing, right? I don't even want to focus too much on that. Like, I could grant to you that there is a shroud somewhere. I would be dishonest to say it was the Shroud of Turin, but I could grant to you that there's a shroud somewhere for somebody named Yeshu in first century Palestine, in the Judea region in the Levant, who was crucified by the Romans. And that doesn't bring us a speck closer to proving that Jesus turned water into wine, fed people with loaves and fishes, walked on water, predicted things. It doesn't bring us a speck closer to that, not even one. It just tells us that somebody was crucified at some point. And so even without the Shroud of Turin, I can, some friends that I have are do you know what a mythicist is, Tony?
Oh, is that like with incense and crystals and that sort of thing?
No, that would be mysticism. Mythicism is a fringe position in scholarship that's growing steam. I don't really care for it because I think it's it's a trivial thing. The disagreement between atheists and non-atheists, or the disagreement between atheists and Christians, is not centered around whether Jesus Christ existed, which is what mythicists say. Mythicists say that Jesus Christ did not exist, right? Like, he was a fiction, either created by Paul, or they say that Paul was a fiction created by another person. But I'm not going to go into that. For me, the idea that there was an itinerant preacher, because this was before the rabbinic age, named Yeshu in Judea, that preached an apocalyptic message, is boring. It's super. What state do you live in, Tony?
California.
California. That would be like me saying that somewhere in California there's some dude named Zach that surfs. I'm not really saying, if I told you that there's a guy in California.
I get it. There were Yahshuas running around all through the land at that time. I understand what you're saying.
All preaching the same God is coming back message. So.
Oh, I didn't realize you were going to go there, but okay.
Yeah, they were all saying the same stuff. The kingdom of God is near, because the Jewish people were under occupation. They were being oppressed, and when you're oppressed, there's a bunch of people that show up to say that you're about to not be oppressed. That's just what happens, right? So that's mundane to me. So this is why I say that I don't think that this is what convinces you that a God exists.
No, it's not.
This is the type of thing that people look at once they already believe that a God exists, to try to convince other people that a God exists.
Well, you know what? You're absolutely right about that, because it's not, my faith doesn't hinge on that. I just figured that with the science that's behind it, I think it's possible that we're looking at two different views on the science, because science isn't always truthful, right? Like, when we know that with Fauci in the news right now, right? Like, that's pretty clear.
What is it?
So,
what is science to you?
Well, science is real. Science is the understanding of things, understanding how they work, and all that. I have no qualms with science.
No, I'm not. I'm saying, what do you think science is? What is science?
Well, it's the understanding of the way things are. Whether that be the water molecule. What is science? Then what is science?
Science is just a method that people use to try to explain phenomena that they observe. That's it. It just so happens that that method is the best one we have to come as close to explaining things as we have, right? The fact that
Right.
you and I are talking to each other, the fact that our life expectancy is what it is, the fact that I can touch something on my phone and the lights behind me change colors, the fact that bananas are shaped the way they are, the fact that you can walk onto your front lawn and not get mauled by a cougar, all of that is owed to science. That's just us saying, like, it's like the application of science, right? Like, we've explained a thing, and
Yeah.
now we're like, now that we've explained it, how can we make it do it this other thing? That's what science is.
Right.
So
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I understand that.
so I
You're
wouldn't
blinding me
say
with science.
like something like the Shroud of Turin wouldn't be science. Like something like the Shroud of Turin would be the application of some other science. And there's like predictions that you can make with science, right? Like you can say, hey, I've observed this thing, and because of that, I predict that if I look over here, I'm going to see a flash of light. And then you look over there, you see a flash of light, and your hypothesis is confirmed. But
Right. I agree with all that.
Yeah.
I agree with all that. But I think the part maybe that maybe the disconnect is with this topic in particular is that perhaps you haven't seen all of the science or the other side of the science.
there's
Because
no
science isn't
there's
always
no such
science
there's no
is-
such thing.
Sure, there is. Because
No.
science isn't always. I just gave you an example with what's going on right now with
What do you
Tony,
with
if
Dr.
anything,
Fauci.
science has gone against God. Like prior to germ theory, people thought plagues and entire villages dying from disease was an act of vengeance from God. And then they learned
Right,
about
no,
germ theory. It's like, it's not that. Like
get all that, but-
discovering dinosaur fossils was a huge devastation to Christianity.
I don't see how, but I understand what you're saying. But I think what you're not understanding, what I'm saying, is that you're looking at science from you're reading this science and not the other science.
What's
What
the
other
what do you
science?
yeah, what is the other science? I'm
So,
curious.
so the other science, and please forgive me because I'm not good with details. You guys are incredibly brilliant young folks. But
Just so you know, just like because somebody before said that I was going to die at 25. I'm only 4 years younger than you.
okay, well, no, but
I'm still young.
I live in the reality in the reality. I'll give you an example of me. I am good in the physical world. I am not good in any kind of electronic devices. It doesn't. Certain details are hard for me to keep up with. Unlike a lot of other people. I know people who could, they could quote the Bible verse by verse by verse by verse by verse by verse. That'll never be me. I can't do it. So that's all I'm saying. I applaud you for being, on that side of the spectrum. So now I lost track. So you were asking me the other side of the science. So the other side of the science is saying like what it must have took to make that image on the cloth. Things like that. Because the image that's on the cloth is not painted on there. It's not dye. It's very superficial, like minutely
But
superficial.
but that doesn't tell us anything.
Well, the science says that here's how it possibly could have happened by a burst of light by, I'll quote Dr. Or what's his name? It took 25 gigawatts money, at an instant to produce that image. So, and we can't reproduce it. It hasn't been reproduced.
It has been reproduced.
I've seen what you're calling has been reproduced, and
What am I calling?
and I got
has been
oh gosh,
reproduced.
well I forget what is the oh gosh I forget the guy's name. And someone asked, well, look at he already reproduced it. Some guy at a college, some university, some professor. I forget his name. And I've seen how.
What country was he in?
You know what? I want to say Spain. I don't think he was American.
All right, so I'm
But
just putting it. I'm putting the reproduction on the screen. It was an Italian scientist, and they look pretty identical.
What's his name?
Luigi Garlashelli.
That's him. That's the
Now,
guy.
just so you know, look, I have both images on the screen right now.
Now, I know I've seen them. I've looked at both images. I looked, and it's not. It's like me trying to paint the Mona Lisa and putting them up side by side. And going, I did it. That's the reproduction
Kenzie, did you
right
see
there.
Yeah, I did.
Do they look like that?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you which one is the shot of Torin and which one is the fake.
Well, you probably couldn't because it takes the trained
Can
eye.
you? Can you?
Kidding.
Do you have a trained
Could I?
eye?
Yeah.
Could I? I could. Here, I'll be truthful with you. I could, if I'd never seen the Shroud of Turin and I never seen the Luigi Shroud of Turin, and they're up side by side, I'll say that I probably wouldn't know which one.
Well,
which
can
one
you,
was which.
with all the knowledge you have of Jesus, like if Jeff puts it back on the screen, can you tell which one's which?
Yeah, I probably could, but I'm on my phone, and I won't be able to get back there, so I wouldn't be able to run that, to play that little test. Sorry, I would if it was a possibility, but that's.
I mean, your phone has YouTube, right?
I would probably disconnect from you. But what you're alluding to is that I wouldn't be able to tell the difference?
No, I have no idea if you could. I'm wanting to see if you can.
Yeah, I'm guessing that I could, and I will say this: if I've seen it's more than
Jeff,
just
you have
looking
his
at
number,
it,
right?
at face value.
Yeah. I mean, you can look at it on the stream and then just call back if you get disconnected.
You could just text it to him.
Oh,
I guess
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what I'll do. I will call back on another show, and
Sure.
after I look at it. Is that fair enough? Fair enough to
that's
say?
perfectly
He's gonna
fair.
cheat, Jeff.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna have to do my research. I bet you superimposed the real one over the fake one, Jeff. I know you, man. I know you do. Up to your shenanigans, bro.
Yo, my niece is crazy.
He's gonna cheat.
She's tripping right now. Yo.
What do you mean?
I'll tell you what. I'm sorry. What is your name, young lady?
Kenzie.
Kenzie, I'll tell you what. I will go back. I will look, and you have my Scout's honor. Oh, I'm sorry. As a Christian man, I give you my word that I.
Are you swearing to God?
I'm not. I don't think we're supposed to do that. So I don't do that. You have my word, and my word's as solid as oak.
Okay.
Um,
Who said that? What is that from?
Jerry Maguire.
Yeah, didn't that guy go back on his word?
He did.
He did.
Yeah.
As it turns out, look, and I don't know, like we don't have any other callers, so that's the answer, Kenzie, to your question. But that you asked me before. But also check Discord.
Did you see my text? I did check Discord, and now I see my fumble. Okay, now I see.
Okay.
Wow. But
well, guys,
you are really quickly. You are aware that Jesus lied too, right?
Jesus lied?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. Fill me in.
Like if you just read Matthew 16 and the last two verses, 27 specifically, he said that he said not some of you will not taste death, meaning the disciples in front of him, before the Son of Man has come back to repay everyone for what has been done, and they're all dead.
Well, to
Liar!
be fair, No, hold on. To be fair, I know people that say that believe that the rapture had already happened, and it happened a long
Yeah,
time ago. So
they're called preterists, but it,
okay, well, if
there's
it happened a long time ago,
but that's it.
and
That's
it
not.
already happened,
But that's not
then it's not
possible.
lying.
Well, no, it's not possible because it specifically says that the sun will not have light, the moon will not give light. Like you can read Isaiah 13. It says specifically who's going to go where. It tells you that he's coming in clouds with angels. Like that's what it says. That's never happened. I mean, that's like
Well, how do you know that that's never happened?
that the
I mean,
sky
I'm not
opened
saying
up.
it did happen, but why are you so sure that that's never happened?
That the sky opened up and angels came and took people into the sky. I'm fairly certain that that's never happened.
Okay, well, fairly, that's an acceptable answer. Fairly
Yeah,
certain.
I'm fairly certain.
Okay.
Because
Tony, do you think unicorns are real?
Of course they are.
Okay. Is that
The
because
Bible
they're in the
refers
Bible?
to unicorns, right?
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
but did you know that the one horned rhinoceros used to be called a unicorn?
So
that
that's
might
what
have
you
been what
think
they're
the Bible's
referring to.
referencing to?
That might have been. I don't look at things like in too much
What
detail.
about the
Here's
single-horned horse? Do you think that's real?
Hold on. Here's what I know. Here's what I believe. Sometimes I think people put too much emphasis on like knowing every Bible verse. I mean, I wish I could. I'm not capable of it. I know that Jesus Christ died on the cross to pay for my sins, and he rose again. Whether or not unicorns are real or angels, the rapture already happened or not, that's
So you think people rise from the dead?
Have I seen people rise from the dead?
No,
No,
I'm
but
not asking if you've seen it. I'm asking you if that's true.
Well, let me ask you this, Kinsey, right?
Yeah.
Let's say for sake of argument, I'm sorry, did I get your name correctly?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say for sake of argument, Jesus Christ was indeed who he said he was. If he is indeed who he says he was, then he rose from the dead. If he's not,
Well, that just doesn't
indeed
answer
who he
my
says he
question.
was.
Do you think people rise from the dead?
Well, I know Christ rose from the dead.
how do you, just out of curiosity, how do you know that?
Well, because for one, I've seen the science behind the Shroud of Turin, so that confirms a lot. And I just have
The Shroud of Turin
a belief.
Kenzie, this is why, Kenzie. This is why 419 is a close to $1 billion industry, by the way. This is why right here.
What's 419?
419 is part of the Nigerian criminal code for advanced fee fraud. Those Nigerian prince emails or the emails that you might get that say, hey, I got a trunk box of cash. What you just said is the reason why that industry generates close to $1 billion a year.
And that's why.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Explain to me what you mean.
Because even if the Shroud of Turin were real, it is not confirmation that somebody rose from the dead. Even if you dated it to exactly April of the year 33 CE, it would not be confirmation that somebody rose from the dead.
You're using the term real loosely. Like you're saying real like someone was actually crucified and buried in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're using the term real as in like
Christ,
aspect of reality.
Yeah,
like Christ was actually crucified and buried in it and rose from the dead. That's what I put real.
But there's nothing on the shroud that there's no data point on the Shroud of Turin. If I was to just grant everything of anybody that says that it's from Jesus, that indicates there was somebody who died here and rose in 3 days. There's no confirmation metric there.
The shroud tracks. the shroud tracks back through history.
The dating
How does
to
it
it is
confirm resurrection?
You just haven't seen the
How
evidence for
does
it.
it
Like here,
confirm? Here, look, we'll grant that Jesus was buried in it. Fine, we'll grant that. Tell me how it shows that he was.
well, I did. I explained
Kenzie, you
the
froze.
light thing.
Oh, there you go.
And
Hold on. Tell me how it shows that he what? What was the end of that question?
Tell me it's resurrected. Like,
Yeah, how does it show that he resurrected from the shroud?
we'll grant that he was buried in it. Show us how it
Well, like I
demonstrates
said,
his resurrection.
the way they said it was, the image is on it. How the image is on it.
What about it?
Now
Like,
you could say, well, it could you could say, well, it could have been. I talked to a guy a few months back. He said, I think Jesus was an alien, and he was able to do. And I go, dude, I thought about that too myself years ago.
Tony,
You know?
I appreciate the story. I really do, but it shows a crucified man. Sure. So we grant the crucifixion. We grant that he was buried in it. Show me how it demonstrates that 3 days later he was resurrected.
And I said the way the image, you have to understand the way that image is on the shroud. If you don't understand that, then it's just going
Well,
to be
explain
a
it to
circular
us.
conversation.
Explain
I
it to
did.
us.
It was put on there by a burst of light of 20,000 gigawatts, buddy, and at a millionth of a second or whatever. It's the only way. It's very superficial. It's super.
So you're saying that
the
image was caused by him resurrecting?
That is my belief. Yes. Yeah. It's not blood stains. If that's what you thought it was. If that's what you thought the shroud was.
I have no thoughts whatsoever.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well.
So I'm just trying to understand. I'm just trying to understand how you analyze this cloth. So you're saying that when he resurrected, all this light came out of him and superimposed the image onto the cloth?
That's one of the theories, yes. Or that is the theory, yes.
So how do you know that?
You never heard that? You never heard that?
It doesn't matter if I've heard it or not.
Well, it does. It does. Have you ever heard that before?
How does it matter if I've heard it or not?
Because I'm trying to see where you're coming from, so I could understand.
Tony, I'm just trying to
answer.
understand what your claim is. It doesn't matter what I believe. It doesn't matter what I've heard of. I'm trying to understand what you're saying. So how do you know that someone coming back to life after being dead 3 days releases this kind of light?
Well, it's not somebody, right? It wouldn't be somebody. It will go back to if Christ is who he said he was, God, then anything is possible, right? I mean, right? If God is real, God is real.
So what you're saying is that if Jesus resurrected, he could have oozed peanut butter out of his skin pores, and that would be confirmation that he resurrected.
I don't. Do you think that if that cloth was covered with peanut butter, that would? I don't think that would change your mind. Even if that was proven,
it shouldn't change yours.
Well, sure, it hasn't. It doesn't. Like I said, it doesn't.
It shouldn't.
Change my mind.
If you see something,
how have you heard that image was put on there? Answer me that. Let's start there.
It's a forgery that
how
dates
was it put on there, though?
It's a forgery that dates to the 14th century. But that doesn't
how was it put on there?
But that doesn't even matter, Tony.
Yes, it does, because you can't tell me.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell me how
if I can't tell you
in the 14th century.
Uh-huh.
You got to tell me how it was created.
I don't listen. No. You're confused. I don't have to tell you anything at all. You're trying to say that the only way this was able to be made was that somebody resurrected, and you don't have a reference resurrection to say, like, if I was to tell you that cutting into a leg oozes out peanut butter, right?
Okay.
and you've never seen peanut butter, and then when you see blood, I tell you that's peanut butter. Do you see what I'm saying?
No, no. Honestly, I don't.
You're trying to confirm a thing that you could never test for. And when you see somebody tell you that this could only have been placed with a light. Now, I'm pretty sure if I was to ask you what was the experiment that they did to confirm that it was a light, and mind you, they would have to do some predictive analysis to confirm the light, right?
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
To confirm
sure.
its effects, to say, hey, this light does this thing. So if I was to look at that and say, how does that confirm just the light? You wouldn't be able to tell me. But then we have the further claim that light comes out when there's a resurrection. And then when Kenzie asked you, how do you know that a light comes out when there's a resurrection? Your response is anything's possible. So it could have been water.
No.
It could have been
no,
air.
Hold on.
Let's say resurrections. Let's say resurrections were real, and when a resurrection happens, it's not light that comes out. It's actually blowfish, and they explode, and they make colorful rainbows on the floor. Then the light would not be confirmation of a resurrection, right? Since everything's possible.
Okay. I'm trying to track, but okay.
Yeah, am I right? Like if you found out that every single time somebody dies for 3 days and they resurrect, what happens is that the lights flicker for 2 seconds. It's actually less light. Then the light would not be confirmation of a resurrection, right? The light would actually be like clearly something else. I'm just wondering, like what Kenzie's asking you is how are you tying light? Which we're being generous in granting, by the way, because I guarantee you, if you look into it, practically every paper that has in any way asserted anything about this shroud has been retracted. And I'll tell you, I do not want to like flaunt my whatever, but a lot of the mutuals that I have on this platform and others are people who are credentialed PhD historians, linguists, Bible scholars that are familiar with this work, right?
Uh-huh.
But even if I granted that, the question that Kenzie has is how do you confirm that the light is tied to a resurrection?
Okay, so let me try to answer that. The scientists that maybe please don't ask me to quote their names and the labs and the blah 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 have said that the only way that image could have that they could think of could have been on there was from a very 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 bright burst of energy, light, whatever you call it. It cannot be reproduced. Now let me ask you this: on that shroud by Luigi, or how was that, or if it's a forgery, how have you heard that it was created?
I have no idea. That's irrelevant, but that's not the question I'm asking you.
No, it's a question I'm asking.
I'm granting. Look, Tony. I'm doing the same thing Kenzie did. We're granting you that this was a shroud that was over somebody's face when they were crucified. We're granting you that there was a light. All of that. How do you get from a light to a resurrection?
Well, I guess you just have to. How else would you explain it when everything lines up? Everything
to what?
Lines up. This historical evidence of the shroud, where the shroud was.
That's fine, but
sample,
how do you? But the question is, how does the light confirm a resurrection?
Okay, because they didn't have light sound back then. I don't know what else. I don't know what else to tell you.
You haven't said anything.
Like you guys. Well, I said a lot. You guys.
No. Look, the answer to the question How does a light confirm a resurrection? Has gone unanswered for like 10 minutes now.
Well, you can do that with a lot of things. You know,
If I
you can
didn't
do
have
that
an answer, I wouldn't
with-
make claims. I just want to know.
I'm not.
Like,
I'm
look,
telling
if I
you,
told you that I looked outside, right, and I saw a blue mound of powder,
okay,
and the only way that blue mound of powder could be there is if Bill Gates is my best friend. And you said, well, how does a blue mound of powder confirm that Bill Gates is your best friend? And I go, well, how else did it get there? That would be idiotic. I would need to have an answer to that question. If I said, well, I've never seen a blue mound of powder before. I just want you to connect the light to the resurrection.
that's an absurd analogy.
Let me make it analogous for you.
Hold on.
Let me make it analogous for you. I'm going to make it analogous for you.
No. Let me explain. If you were to,
there is no let me explain. I want you to stop talking. Nobody can hear you right now. I want you to stop talking. I'm going to make it analogous for you. Okay. The analogous property is that neither one has provided an inference to the conclusion. Neither one. So they're in the same boat right now. The blue mound to Bill Gates and the light to the resurrection. The two of us are begging you for the inference. Now you can go.
Well, okay. Because I could produce a blue mound of powder. Call up my old buddies Heisenberg and Pinkman, and I could put a blue mound of powder.
It's not that type of powder.
That wasn't
whatever
powder.
type
That
of
was
powder,
crystals.
whatever type of powder it is, I could produce it.
I don't know how you're even making that claim if you haven't inspected the powder.
Well, you told me it was powder. I went over there to your place and I sampled it.
Yeah, and what kind of powder
you
is
didn't.
it? Do you hey chat, do you see what's happening? Do you see what's happening? We got the man in the corner with the finger guns and he's like, "Nope. I ducked."
No, it's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous analogy.
Okay, cool.
I really like it.
Let's
I think it's
replace
great.
let's replace let's replace
It's
the mound of
funny.
powder.
Why are you so upset?
Let's replace the mound of
No,
powder.
I'm having a great time.
I know you are, but Tony,
I think you guys are great.
Tony, listen. I'm going to replace the mound of powder with a viscous fluorescent liquid that is always warm.
What? And you say I'm wild. It's always warm.
It's always warm. You put ice on this and it doesn't change temperature. That's the liquid.
Okay.
And I say, I found this viscous fluorescent liquid that's always warm. And because of that, the only way it could be there is if Bill Gates is my best friend. And you go, that doesn't make any sense. Now, for you to break the symmetry, both of these scenarios don't have an inference. You've never seen this liquid before. Nobody's been able to reproduce it. So now we have an analogous situation, and you're going to break the symmetry by bringing us the inference from the light to the resurrection. Go.
Well, if you tell me that the reason why that viscous bottle of
If
liquid
you're about to say Bill Gates is my friend, I'm going to crash out.
is there because you say Bill Gates is your friend, and I have no other reasons to deny that or doubt that, because there really isn't no significance of it. Then okay, I believe you. You seem like a smart guy.
Tony.
You seem like an honest guy.
Tony, I love you so much. We are at the end of our show. I want you to call again, but that was crazy. I'm going to let you go. Wow. So if I find some material that nobody's ever seen, whatever conclusion I want to draw from that material, that's the conclusion. I don't know what to say. That was all right.
Jeff, if Bill Gates is your best friend, you're not doing commie work.
I'm playing the long game, Kenzie. I'm going to invite him to one of our parties and then we'll strike.
I think it would be more covert if you acted independently.
Like eat the rich, but except it's Bill Gates. I don't know. Well, who is this Mark guy? Let's see.
I don't know. I saw that too. I didn't know what was going on in the chat.
Let's see who Mark is. Talking doo-doo at the end of the show. I don't see nobody named Mark.
Did you see this the text I sent you?
Yes. Yeah, I agree. But
I usually give Sean shit for throwing cupcakes on the ground, but you took uncooked batter and like served it to the queen. You're like, this is the cupcake.
that's, to be honest, I was trying to like double dutch my way into switching it to the second topic. But like, I'm so glad I did.
That was pretty funny.
I'm so glad because, look, all kidding aside, we need calls like that from time to time. We do. It brings some levity. Like we get people who are like, hey, these people shouldn't make any money if they do whatever. Oh, I see.
I do want all the chirpers in the chat to recognize that a 50-year-old man who does not read newspapers or keep up on politics, who is very tech illiterate, still had the balls to call in. Is like, I don't even know how this shit works. And he did it.
W him. Somebody's going to take all of his money one day. But W him. Why is... You know what? I'm not even... Somebody somewhere tell me what's going on with that person. I don't know. I have no idea. I scrolled up far enough and I'm still confused. So I'm sure somebody will let me know. Yeah, I think this is a good stopping point. We're gonna do Friday with Justin. But did you have fun, Kenzie? We have more callers than we did the last 2 times
Yes, that was
combined.
lots of fun. Yes. Call a plumber.
Yeah, I'm going to call a plumber and say, hey, man, I know I have an interest in you fixing the plumbing, but I don't want to pay you because you should just do it.
It's your choice to be a plumber.
Yeah. One final time, I know I've said this before, but I can't
believe you didn't call that guy out for saying you have a sexless marriage.
You know why? By the way, the reason I did that, I don't know where that sound is coming from.
I don't think I was going to ask because was that you? Was that me? I'm glad you heard it too.
Okay, now it's gone. That was weird. Yeah, so the reason I didn't is because if I give them the slightest entryway to be weird and goofy, they're going to take it. And I was just like, nope, I'm good.
You don't have kids?
I'm not falling for the bait.
You're just not having sex? No.
I'm not falling for the bait. Because immediately they're going to be like saying the weird stuff. Hold on, let me...
I did feel like when I was on the Whatever podcast, it was super weird how much Andrew wanted to talk about his sex life with his wife and then ask me questions about my sex life with my ex-husband. I'm like, what are we doing?
The reason I remember that, and he seems to have this, like, you could see it in his face. It's this thing where he needs to, like, it's like he's getting this perverse joy out of doing that because he thinks it's getting under your skin. Like it's...
You're telling me you never blew your husband while he was sleeping? No.
Creepy.
I like my partner to be conscious.
It's super creepy, the face. The next time we do this is going to be on Friday, like I said, with Justin. I'll put the message again. If you haven't...
Is it just Justin?
He used to be Average Justin, but now he's rebranded to Just Justin. And if you haven't gone to endofaspecies.com to get the book I released yesterday, it's called If You Have to Explain It. Go there, go get it. Once we get to 200 copies sold, we are going to donate 20 copies to Ari's book club. Kenzie, you have anything to promote, plug?
Yeah, my birthday is a week from tomorrow, so I'm actually going out of town for that weekend. But on Sunday, so this weekend, Sunday, August 2nd, I am doing a birthday live debate stream on my TikTok. I'm going to try and do at least 8 hours. So between 8 to 10 is my goal, depending on how bad my ears hurt from the headphones. I should be starting about 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So if you'd like to come celebrate my birthday, see some intellectual violence, please come check it out. And shower me with gifts. I will be the unapologetic Leo asking for shit on their birthday.
Shower Kenzie with gifts, y'all.
Shower me. Golden shower me.
What did he say? Yo. All right. Is Sean still here? You gonna let that slide? All right. On that note, I will catch y'all later. Thanks for hanging out. Peace.
Thank you, Jeff.